Hi, I'm Ashraf Ismail, Game Director for Assassin's Creed Origins. I've waited a long time to say that. Almost 10 years ago, I, as many of you, fell in love with a game. That game took us to the Third Crusade. And we fell in love again when it took us to the Italian Renaissance. Over the years, this amazing series has taken us to the American Revolution, the French Revolution, Victorian London, and of course, to the Republic of Pirates. For the 10-year anniversary of Assassin's Creed, for our fans, for ourselves, and for all newcomers, we wanted to go back, very far back, to show how it all began. Since Black Flag, over the last 3.5 years, we have poured our energy, our talent, our passion into bringing the land of pyramids, pharaohs, and mummies to life, to bring ancient Egypt to life. Now, Egypt challenged us. It fundamentally challenged us to reinvent what it means to be Assassin's Creed. And over the next few days, you will see, play, and feel this reinvented experience. I am deeply honored and proud to be here representing the amazing work of a phenomenal team, and thrilled to finally be able to show you this beast we have been building. Without further ado, here is a taste of Egypt.
Across your screen, got you in the air. 15 minutes of freedom, still 3/5 of pain. Still relax your chain, yeah. All my blood is in vain.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As an extra treat, let's check in with home base, where we're going to get a glimpse of what you'll see right after the UB conference.
Hey there, folks. Chris Waters here at the home base with Hanny Duong and Carl Lua, producer on Assassin's Creed Origins at Ubisoft Singapore. Carl's here to give us a look at the gameplay of the game. We're going to be entering the open world. We've got a ton more to show you, but Carl, kick it off. Give us a little taste here.
Yes, so here we are in the open world of Egypt. This is the demo that we will be showing on the show floor here at E3. Bayek is riding into the Fayum, one of the regions in Egypt, the most southernmost region. It's a beautiful area. We see we've come in from the desert, moving towards this Lake Moris. And let's have a little exploration around here using our Eagle scene.
It's sunny on the lake and it's sunny on the monitor here, but folks, this looks really good. It's running on an Xbox One X, and we'll be giving you the gameplay feed after the show. We've got 30 minutes of that coming up, but let's see if we can see from a bird's eye view what Seinu is up to.
Yeah, so Seinu is looking into this military camp and tagging a few enemies here. After the show, we will infiltrate this camp and take it out either through stealth or combat or perhaps ranged weaponry.
All right, if you guys want to see more of this, be sure to tune in right after the conference. Chris and I and Carl here will be right here. Ash will be joining us as well. You won't want to miss it.
That 30 minutes live gameplay feed is coming up after the show, but for now, it's back to the stage and on with the excitement.
That's it for now. Thank you. Thank you. So don't forget that you can watch this demo in its entirety after the conference, live stream from our home base. And for those of you here at E3, please come to the Ubisoft booth where you can live this new experience of Assassin's Creed. Thank you very much.
Here's your chance.
hotshot driver with a promising career dominate off-road racing on his way to the top.
Our champion swerves around it brilliantly. Now that's the skill that wins no matter what the engine, no matter what the track. Here's this season's undisputed motorsports champion coming out of nowhere to rise to the top.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. 2 years back, the crew took the driving genre out there to the big, wide, open world of the USA. Thanks to our players, we have taken this iconic vision to the next level. They showed us what they liked and what they wanted to see in the futures. Now, it's time to take it way beyond driving. I am Stéphane Bellet, Creative Director. This is The Crew 2. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Here in the US,
Peggy
motorsports
18.
are louder,
What's up, guys? It's Al.
bigger,
It's
edgier than anywhere else in the world. Drivers and fans meet across the country and celebrate a common passion for all things motorized. Now's your chance to join in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Crew 2, home of Modern Nation. the heart of the city, street racers prove their skills, skidding on rooftops, burning asphalt, and tuning their ride. Forge your own path off-road through the striking beauty of nature. Tame, unpredictable waves on the open ocean, rapid waters, or narrow rivers. Fearless pilots rule the skies, spin between buildings, through the clouds, among stunning perspectives. All across the country, high-octane contests await you. Take the lead on modernation. You've had a glimpse of the Crew 2. Register now for beta access or play the demo at the booth. Experience TC2 for yourself. Enjoy the ride. Thank you.
As one team. We all wanted to be superheroes for the same reason. You're a traitor, Tweak, and now you're with a group of super traitors. This was started by you. We aren't the ones who walked out of the fucking franchise, Mysterion! Why would the Freedom Pals help us? We send a spy, someone in our group who pretends to want to switch sides and join Freedom Pals. Somebody who they don't know very well. All that's fair in love and war, Freedom Pussies. You fucking animal.
You've got problems, new kid. Whatever you did last night got a lot of people's attention. Bad people. If you need information, just know you can rely on Call Girl.
Who the fuck is that? So I guess now any fucking asshole thinks they can be a superhero. We're gonna rip you apart. Dude, Mysterion is pissed at you, new kid. Toolshed.
Toolshed is a Gadgeteer class visionary archetype.
And a butt-fucking traitor. Alright. You must listen to me. Get out of my head, Timmy. Your franchise is going nowhere. Face the truth, Eric. You guys are kind of douchebags. He just called us douchebags, in my mind.
He did?
Southpaw, the fractured but whole.
Available October 17th.
There was this sort of synergy of, well, we're looking to do something interesting in VR, and we've got this division, and you're looking to sort of bring, you know, what sense you have of storytelling within, and put that into the context of VR.
You can, for the first time as a player, feel like you are in a movie.
That's a really good word for it. We want you to take off the gear and still feel unsettled.
Whilst working with Ubisoft, we stumbled across some fascinating research that had begun in the late 90s. Essentially, neuroscientists had figured out a way to upload brain data, trauma, emotions, memories, to the digital space. Now, we've gone and taken the next logical step, and with Ubisoft, we've recreated in virtual reality one such test subject. So we'd like you to come and join us and experience the Walter test case for yourself.
Not as another character, but for me again.
What you were experiencing is a recorded consciousness. It's not like watching a movie, so no matter how real it may seem, it can't hurt you. You were completely safe. You were completely safe.
And now, I'm happy to share a new surprise with you. Building on the legacy of one of our most popular worlds, the super talented teams of Ubisoft Singapore came up with something really, really unique. So I want you to see that and enjoy. Thank you.
Men from all over the world sail the treacherous trade routes of the Indian Ocean. The riches in their holds fuel their dreams of power and fortune, while whetting the appetites of those they fear most. Pirates.
Decides after 70 years that what he goes there for is to unlock the door. And we're never gonna survive. High and black.
6 knots, sir! 6 knots! Go damn slow!
120 days. That's how long the average pirate survived a lawless life on the seas during the golden age of piracy. I'm Justin Farron, the creative director for Skull and Bones, and this is your chance to not just survive, but to climb the food chain and surpass the legend of every pirate who ever sailed the high seas. Since bringing innovative naval combat to Assassin's Creed, we at Ubisoft Singapore have set out to bring you the ultimate pirate experience. A tactical action game where we take that naval combat to the next level, mastering the ocean and its winds at the helm of ships armed to the teeth. Skull and Bones takes place in a shared systemic world where you can sail solo or form a gang of pirates with your friends, and together terrorize the trade routes of the Indian Ocean. Season after season, you'll collaborate and compete with other bloodthirsty players, even execute ruthless betrayals, in order to become the ultimate pirate kingpin. Now I'm proud to share with you the Loot Hunt, one of Skull and Bones' 5 versus 5 team-based PvP modes. Right on, right? We've just received intel that merchant convoys rich with treasure are sailing just off the coast of Madagascar. But beware, there are other pirates also looking to plunder the PvP disputed waters of the Indian Ocean.
The Priscellus Shallows of Madagascar. Located on the cusp of a bustling trade route, it is the perfect place for an ambush. Here is our gang of pirates, the Raiders, going head-to-head with a gang of rival players, the Cutthroats. Victory goes to the team with the most loot at the end of the hunt.
Are we ready for a hunt?
Knowing how to sail with the wind is a pirate's most precious skill. Use the winds to increase your speed or to position yourself for tactical advantage in battle. To reap the most rewards, it is best to split up, some going inland, others keeping to the open sea. Each warship has unique strengths. The frigate's hull is reinforced, its arsenal equipped with numerous culverin cannons. The brigantine is devastating up close, with a battering ram designed to break any resistance. The sloop of war kills from afar, with its crippling long-ranged mortars and precise long 9 cannons.
Sail! Flying hostile colors! All sail! Ride the wind! All hands on deck! Position fixed!
Open fire!
Nothing will save you now! Brace for impact! Woo! Drown, you soggy nutmegs!
Don't let bloodlust cloud your purpose. You're here for the loot, and so are your rivals.
Store the goods, then back to your station.
The team that escapes with the most loot claims victory. Searching for more targets on the horizon, our sloop of war spots a rival pirate ship further inland. With its heavily reinforced hull, our frigate swoops in to save the day, bearing the brunt of the damage.
Another day, another victim!
Speed, Mr. Mercy! Vamos con todo!
Our gang of pirates is now taking aim at the frigate, and it will take team coordination to take her down.
They're killing! We can take their ship!
With the enemy ship's broadside now vulnerable, our frigate rushes in to board her.
Taste of blackened silver. Fancy snorting some fish piss?
We're just pirate hunters!
It's the rock fleet! Man au war! Rockets away!
Pirate hunters have been sent in, signaling the end of the hunt. They target the pirates with the most stolen loot.
Time to make our escape, Captain, or we are good for the news. They're firing mortars!
Full tilt, Silbo, full tilt!
The pirate hunter defenses are so strong that the only option is escape. The brigantine is sacrificing herself to buy time for the frigate, who carries the most loot. The frigate now needs to make its escape through the reefs.
Captain, let's break for the reef!
Successful pirates know when to run, with their hulls full and the wind at their backs.
Sailor, what will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor lying down?
Thank you all very much. I'd like to invite you to play the Loot Hunt at the Ubisoft booth at E3. And please register for our live phases online. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention. The world of Skull and Bones is one that evolves. When you act, it reacts.
That if I did not kiss the girls, my lips would grow a moldy. Way, ho, away, we'll haul away.
Here you go, Peggy. There's everything your mother ordered. And
너에게 날 맞추지 마. 나에게 더 바라지 마. 거품처럼 커진 맘을 버블 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 팝 버블 버블 팝. 있는 그대로 생각해봐. 보이는 대로 날 바라봐. 거품처럼 커진 맘을 버블 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 팝 버블 버블
pretty. I'll live forever, sing like Whitney. But I still wanna dance with somebody. I just wanna dance with somebody. I just wanna dance with somebody. I just wanna dance with somebody. It could be anybody. Tell me, are you that somebody? Don't matter who you are, just love me the way I just wanna dance with somebody. 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 It could be anybody. Tell me, are you that somebody? Don't matter who you are, just love me the way I just wanna dance with somebody. I just wanna dance with somebody. Hey!
Hey everyone, I'm BB Rexa, and Just Dance 2018 is out this October on all consoles. Bye!
You use it as a telephone. You use it as a camera. It's your music player, your flashlight, calculator, and GPS navigation device. But now, finally, the most high-tech company in the world has unlocked the mobile phone's true potential so that it can do what it was truly meant to do.
We are playing Cowboys and Indians. Hey, new kid, we need you to come play with us. Put on some cowboy shit and meet us outside. And bring your phone. Whoa, we're playing Cowboys and Indians, dickhole. Inuits are technically Native Americans. This new kid puts me to shame. Rip these guys a new asshole, new kid.
Phone destroyer!
Atlas, jewel of the Pleiades. Nova took us to the stars. Each new world more incredible than the last. We had no idea what was waiting for us. The Legion. It consumes everything in its path. They've never used Starlink before. Go show them what it can do.
Let's do this. Come on. I got it.
Chase, how's it going?
Breaking atmosphere. Let's even the odds.
Judd, we need to buy time for me to jumpstart the engine.
They are resisting ice barrage. Linking fire loadout.
We're up against impossible odds, but together we will adapt and overcome.
Hi, I'm Matt Rose, producer at Ubisoft Toronto. Like many of you, I grew up in the 80s, obsessed with sci-fi, animation, comics, and of course, all the really cool toys. At Ubisoft Toronto, we built a team with a dream of bringing those amazing childhood memories back to life for a new generation. Starlink Battle for Atlas allows you to take control of a team of star pilots in a massive, open, living star system, fighting to save Atlas from the Forgotten Legion. Build your custom starship, and then adapt to new challenges on the fly. Link extra armor and heavy weapons to take on a huge Legion Prime. Search for ancient secrets lost on the worlds of Atlas, or outrun outlaws through an asteroid field. Freedom is at the core of Starlink Battle for Atlas. Collect your way with both physical Starship collectibles and digital versions available, and even take your game on the go using the power of Nintendo Switch. Visit starlinkgame.com for more information, and stay tuned for many more surprises over the coming months. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Coutaz. I'm the studio director at Ubisoft Annecy. It's a pleasure for me to be back on stage after our announcement at E3 last year. And we have had, since then, a full year of support and continuous development of Steep. Since the very beginning of this project, we have been working with athletes, and we have always been impressed by their passion and dedication. We learned how one champion spent 300 days a year on a trampoline to practice for that perfect landing. We learned how others make more than 6 million turns to practice for the 15 they have to race in competition. These athletes, they travel to the world to train with the best, to compete with the strongest, and to challenge themselves with the most experienced and skilled coaches. It's truly a level of passion and dedication that goes well beyond our everyday lives. And when you talk to the very best of these men and women, you realize that there is something they always have in back of their minds at all times. It's a dream that takes years of preparation for just one go at that unforgettable moment. This December, with our first Steep expansion, this is a journey you will take. Enjoy.
As a child, you would wait and watch from far away, but you always knew that you'd be the one to work while they all play. You lay a scheme of all the things that you would change, but it wouldn't just.
Hi, my name is Dan Hay, and I'm the executive producer of Far Cry the brand, as well as the creative director of Far Cry 5. I'd like to introduce you to Hope County, Montana. Vast, beautiful, rugged. A place where people don't even lock their front door anymore. But that's how it used to be. Today, Hope County's been overrun by a fanatical cult. You find yourself trapped deep in cult territory, cut off from the rest of the world. They've closed the roads. There's no cell phone signal, no 911. People are fucking scared. I had to say it. And just up ahead, the small town of Falls End has been completely overrun. If you're gonna survive, you and your guns for hire are gonna need to save it. But to do that, well, you're gonna need to raise some hell.
We got piggies. Town looks like a war zone. Where do you want me? Water tower, got it.
I'm in position.
You will be cleansed! You will confess your sins! And you will atone! For only then will you walk in the light of our Father and be delivered!
Boom, boom, motherfuckers.
Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom.
Behind you!
Bang, 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 bang.
Gonna need more help!
I love the way you walk. And I love the way you talk. When you walk that walk, and you talk that talk. You knocks me out off my feet.
Looks like you could use some help!
Boom, 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 boom.
Target
bang,
a
bang,
fucking
bang,
quad.
Boom, 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 boom.
Where's your master? I don't deal with domesticated.
Hey, the fuck? I ain't got no master, but I do have your little toy.
Show me the idol. Show me the Redeemer.
Here you go, mate.
Oh,
Yo, 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 hand it over. I got a hot date who don't do late.
Monkey's got a date.
Mwah.
What? What?
What? That's Swiss fucking chocolate, pig. Bon appetito.
I want every fucking cop in this fucking city after that fucking bastard!
Grab my chassis, Noxie!
Easy peasy, bro.
Shit! Hang on!
Bang, bang, motherfuckers! Fuck me.
Damn! Do it!
What's up, guys? I'm Tim Gay.
It's about bloody time. Let's see what we've got. Moksha. Just as Yama described it. True freedom lies beyond.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. First of all, I want to say a big thank you to all the teams who worked very, very, very hard on creating all this world. Again, thank you to all these teams behind us. I want also to say thank you to Yves, with all my heart. Thanks, Yves, for making this happen. This is just amazing. And also, a special thanks to the fans of Beyond Good and Evil for sticking with us for so long.
It's about bloody time.
15 years. Almost.
So welcome to System 3. Our story takes place before the birth of Jade, in a multi-ethnic, multicultural human society in a distant solar system. It is a time when corporations create hybrids in their labs and enslave them to colonize the stars in order to compete for power and cosmic resources. With our crew of crazy and unforgettable characters, we fight in the name of freedom and the right to determine our own fate among the stars. And we will helm massive star-faring vessels through territories as spectacular as they are dangerous.
We've been working very hard just on the technology during 3 years. And today, we have a seamless online playground where we can travel across space at the speed of light. We can explore mysterious cities and discover unknown lands by ourselves or with friends. And we want you to participate in the making of this great adventure. Join our Space Monkey program. Today, and help us make Beyond Good and Evil a world that will challenge us and bring us together for thousand adventure, thrills, and fun. And please, Yves, just join us. This is. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations, you guys. You know, Gabrielle and Michel, you've done a fantastic job. It's amazing what you have been able to achieve, and you and I and all the teams have the power of creating games that will amaze all the gamers. And I think video games can help us to grow and to get better. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So now, I would like to thank everyone here in the room and those who are watching us from home. Thank you for listening today, and thank you for playing our games. So to all the teams at Ubisoft, thank you for your incredible imagination and enthusiasm. All of us here, we wish you all a lot of fun playing games this year. So thank you very much, and have a great E3.
Okay, wait, look, most importantly, it's not over. The show is not over, folks. We're gonna send you back to the home base behind the theater. We have 30 minutes of an exclusive, what is it? I lost it. Assassin's Creed Origins exclusive gameplay, 30 minutes right now. Let's go back to home base outside the theater. Thank you for watching. It's not over, stay tuned.
Holy shit!
Oh my God.
Hey there, folks. What a show and what an ending, huh, guys?
Wow. That was amazing.
Fantastic. It was jam-packed with great games, and we've got more great games to show you right now, specifically Assassin's Creed Origins. I'm Chris Waters, joined by Hanny Duong, Carl Lua, and Ash Ismail from the Assassin's Creed Origins team. And let's get right into it, fellas, here. Without further ado, we've got 30 minutes of exploring the open world in Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yes, for sure. So just to start off, so we have the context. This is the demo we have here at E3 that we're letting people play. Just so everyone knows, this is a living game. We still have a ways to go to finish off the game and completely polish it. So we might see some hiccups along the way. But we fully assume that. We're super proud to be here to show it off. We've been working a long time on this, and it's finally exciting to be able to show it and have people play it and send us feedback. So here we're gonna go. Carl is gonna show off his skills.
His gazelle rustling skills.
His gazelle skills. And here we're gonna start with a camp. So these camps, these are military locations. He's gonna use Senu, right?
That's right.
Senu.
She's a beauty.
Yeah, she's a beauty. She's a great scout. So right now, Carl's using her to tag the enemies, but also tagging opportunities in the camp. Now, the question might be, why would someone infiltrate such a location outside of quests? So there is a quest that actually takes place here. In the demo, we've disabled the quest so that we can focus on the world and what happens with the world. Later on, there's going to be more streams with quests so that we can kind of spread the love, the content.
But for now, we're just kind of cutting loose in the open world and going to see what is in store for us here at this camp. Now, with the tagging, I'm noticing, one of the new features here is that levels are popping up over the enemy's heads as you are tagging. So what can the player read into those levels as to what kind of challenge they're going to face?
Yeah, so by going a lot more action RPG, what's happening here is that right now Bayek is level 20 and he's facing off against enemies that are at an equivalent challenge. And so this would be considered a fair challenge fight in this part of the world. And we'll see that as, we'll see later on, there's another camp with enemies that are level 25. And you'll see that the feedback is slightly different. This is to really clarify to people, levels matter, gear matters, taking on higher level enemies, it's doable. But they're tougher not only in stats, but they're also tougher in behavior. So the higher level they are, they have more capacities, more abilities, stronger weapons.
So you might want to think twice before taking them on, or get some better gear, or just light your arrows on fire, apparently.
What are you doing there, Carl?
I think I'm going to cause a little bonfire down here.
Why not? Because it's not hot enough.
Yes.
Just a little more warmth with the bonfire. Speaking of which, my feet are on fire. We are in the middle of the sun
it is really hot out
we
here.
suffer for your entertainment, viewers.
This is the live streaming equivalent of method acting. Is Bayek is warm right now. You think that hood is like keeping him cool?
That hood is warm, and I will say for the fans out there who.
Oh, the lion's attacking the horse.
Attacking the horse. He's got a snack on some horse meat.
Well, it is a distraction.
He's been caged up for a while.
So that's something that we fully embrace in here. So all the NPCs of the world, all the humans, all the animals, they have a full life in the world. They have needs, they have wants. Animals, they hunt, they sleep, they find shade. So in this case, this lion has been captured and been put in a cage. And at this point, it becomes an opportunity for the player. You can't always guarantee it, but okay, so these guys they sense something. They've seen a lion getting released. They've seen...
Kind of hard to miss that one.
Yeah, a fire. There you go, Carl.
Something's going
well
down.
Done. Well done.
All right.
Nice job, Carl.
There we go. So we just picked up a bow. So this is something that's really important in Assassin's Creed Origins. It's gear.
Goodbye, lion.
Terrible. He was so kind to you.
Wow. He attacked the horse. He should have been attacking.
No real lions were harmed.
Out of the frying pan into the fire.
So we picked up a bow, and we saw that it was a blue bow, which means that it's a common weapon. So rarities do matter in this game.
Yeah.
The more rare the equipment is, the more attributes it has, the more properties it has.
So as opposed to just does some more damage, it cannot have other properties. Like what is an example?
Exactly. So other properties could be things like poison tipped. Being able to generate adrenaline. Adrenaline is a concept, it's a resource in the combat system that allows Bayek to unleash a fury of attacks or just devastating, overpowering attacks. And you can build adrenaline through the combat system. And some weapons charge differently than others, so this is part of the depth of the combat that we want players to mess around with.
And this is a whole new combat system you guys have.
Boom, headshot.
It's way different than the feeling before of
Not
sort of
dead
using
yet.
an assassin.
He's dazed. Take him out,
It
poor
hit his
guy,
helmet.
poor guy. Oh,
he can cover some ground.
So this guy's a commander, that's the gold icon.
Uh-oh. Not for long.
There we go.
There we go.
Dead.
So there we go.
So killed.
So here we found a
Very
second bow. So in a military location, military locations are great for finding equipment and new gear. Aside from playing quests, these are also places to be able to upgrade Bayek with new weapons.
Loot all that.
So here we found a bow. Oh, we leveled up, which gives us an ability point. So we'll check that out in a second.
Check it out now.
Yeah, and we found a shield.
Oh, cool.
Nice
All
job,
right, so here we're
Carl.
looking at sort of the skill tree, and I'm seeing 3 different branches.
Yeah, it's more of a graph. What that means is there are flavors. So on the one side, what you see here is the Master Seer. This is more the abilities that are aligned with manipulation. So manipulating the environment, animals, and NPCs. In the center, we have the warrior aspect, which is really delving deep into fight. And the hunter aspect, which is more the stealthy approach of being an assassin or being a ranger. And the idea is players can dedicate themselves or go through the graph however they want. That's why it's a graph, because they can actually kind of spread themselves as they wish. They can really craft their own assassin, and you can even focus on one area. If you want to be the absolute ultimate warrior,
Ultimate warrior.
you can dedicate yourself. So the last ability on each graph, you can keep pumping points into it, so you can really become that super powerful archetype that you wish to play.
You just got to chase down a fluorescent outfit and you're good to go.
So what kind of player would you be, Ash? What's your personal favorite style?
Personally, well, we should get Carl to buy something here.
We go for the enhanced warrior bow.
Enhanced warrior bow. The warrior bow is super cool. We haven't seen it yet, so maybe we should switch to it if we can.
Yep. We did pick up a few new bows, right?
Yeah, we should check out the new gear.
Check out our gear.
Definitely check out the new gear. So in terms of my style, I would say I'm somewhere between hunter and warrior. I can't choose one or the other. I sometimes prefer stealth, sometimes prefer just duking it out with the guys. That's my style, but that's one thing we wanted to cater to, is that we have a lot of fans who either play stealth or play pure combat.
It depends on
their mood. We wanted to give them a control over that.
Yeah.
So here we can see that Carl put on a new bow. You also had a new shield. Put on the shield, put on the shield.
New everything. New bow, new shield.
Is it really going to be better? Let's have a look.
It's way better. So you can see the shield adds to the player's resistance.
Okay.
So it's quite significant. And we can see it has a property which is that when you block a hit, you generate adrenaline. So the idea is with gear, you can actually start crafting, again, the way you fight, the way you stealth. We can see the crafting at the bottom there. So just like combat, there's no longer this concept that you can one-shot assassinate just anybody. Enemies that are higher level, you'll do stealth damage. But if you want to one-shot them, be that true lethal assassin, you have to craft better hidden blades.
You got to work hard at it. And now we're going for a little boat ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to cool down in the sea, which I wish I could do right now, because I am on fire.
Pretty hot. So this is the amazing tech Singapore has been working on. The water. I think it's some of the most beautiful water in any game. It's absolutely beautiful. It's completely seamless. We can, at some point, we'll dive underneath. For now, you know, we have an island here. Let's maybe at some point explore the island.
Well, this lake is really big. Yeah, can we just get a sort of look at how big this is?
So
this is one
Take
of the
a look at this lake.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You
I'm
can see
looking at
the draw distance are absolutely stunning.
Yeah, this is, for you folks watching, this is running on the Xbox One X.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. It's really allowing us to showcase what we can push with our engine, the beauty of the world. We really want to do Egypt justice and show it off, show off our artists, show off our technical people, our programmers who bring this to life.
It's gorgeous.
So here we can see some boats in the distance. This bigger ship here, there's always opportunities. The world is alive. You know, fishermen are out catching fish. They'll take their goods to shore, to docks, take them to the markets, go home and sleep at night. And there's always opportunities for the player here.
All right, out for a little swim. And you mentioned underwater. Let's take a little dive.
Okay, let's take a little dive.
Take a look. You know, I see something dangerous off in the horizon there.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, what is that?
It's a hippo.
Oh, man, do we have other
He looks pretty
creatures?
friendly. Let's get closer. See what happens.
It's a good idea. Very good idea. Or not.
Carl has a great track record with animals, so nothing could go wrong. But so
you've heard about his stories from Singapore, I see. So here, so this is a location. The reason there's loot here, the question might be, why is there loot here? The reason there's loot here is actually this island. It's where the Ptolemies, so the guard force, they use this island as a way to stop, to take a break, to actually refill on some of their stocks. And so here we can see there's actually a guard on the other side who's been killed by what? I don't know, but maybe the hippo.
Not a hippo. No, he's a good guy. I think we should say hi.
Nice dude.
He's a nice dude.
Oh, I got a spear.
You got a spear? Use the spear. Switch to the spear.
Okay, let's switch.
Yeah, because that's the thing. We've seen sort of that short curved sword in action.
The khopesh, yeah.
But there is a variety of weapons, and the sort of the reach of the longer weapons is going to affect how you are in combat.
Exactly. So we have a ton of types of weapons. So 8 melee weapons, 4 types of bows. And this is just the types. Then within them, there's levels, attributes, properties, and all that stuff. And of course, it's a completely seamless system here. We're
closer.
using the bow in water.
You should get in closer, Carl, and see what happens.
Those birds, if Carl is good, he can shoot those birds down.
I got other problems right now. Let me deal with this angry beast.
They're just trying to say hi.
Okay.
You know?
I feel like you're engaging it on its home turf. Like maybe they're slower on land. You don't want to. Oh God.
And he's using the spear.
Oh no! You're smacking the hippo with your spear.
Oh, the poor hippo. What if it's a mama?
Now, you know what?
Man.
Now you've gotten
Carl.
him angry. He just wanted to say hi.
Oh,
I think
boy.
if it's a mama, Carl's in even more trouble.
Yeah.
Keep circling
You're vicious, yeah.
No hippos were harmed in the making of this demo.
No, no actual hippos
No
were harmed
actual
in the
hippos.
making of Assassin's Creed.
This one's
Origins.
being harmed, though. There we go.
All right. So when you loot a hippo, what are you gaining from this beast?
So,
What was the purpose of this
did
massacre?
you ever think he would say that sentence in public? So animals. So the fauna of Egypt.
Whoa.
Is,
Okay.
Just throw that guy off his boat?
Yeah.
Poor guy. So
Sorry.
this is.
Sorry, buddy. There's a hippo just over there. Careful, huh?
You can use the corpse as a float. You'll be
This is
fine.
Carl style. This is Carl style. Obviously Egypt, it's very well known for its fauna, its wildlife, and we need it to represent that properly here. And then we have to say, well, it matters to the player on some level. So this is part of the progression system. So you gain materials that you would use to craft some of your gear. So that's.
Oh!
Boom.
You're just a shit
No,
starter, aren't you, Carl?
It's military. It's all right.
These are military dudes. Put
He's
your
on fire now.
Okay.
Ooh, fire on a
God.
boat. That's a recipe for disaster. I like it.
Oh, the fisherman's coming in dangerously.
Oh boy.
Is someone else mixing it up over
There we go.
Oh, now the boat's on
He's
fire.
coming for me, though. He knew that his boat was in trouble. I better leave.
Just leave him to tread water.
Yeah.
So you know what? If the situation was slightly different,
I love
if
how
Carl,
this guy's just along for the ride. He's just in front of you
the
like,
guy's just
what is
chilling.
happening?
Yeah.
The guy's just chilling. The thing is, Bayek is a Magi. They are protectors of Egypt. They're protectors of the Egyptian way of life, and Egyptians have a high respect for Magi's, and they go to them for help. This is actually feeds into the questing system, actually. So, as a Magi, he respects them. He's gonna let him take his boat for a ride.
You do you, Bayek. You do you. Set boats on fire.
I like it too because he's not like obviously the boat's important to that dude. Like it's probably his livelihood. He's like, look, man, you can take this wherever you want, but I need it when you're done.
Yeah, just be sure you bring it back in one
He's even chilling for a
piece.
bit. He'll even wait a bit. Eventually, he'll leave, but he'll wait a bit for now.
He's watching me carefully.
So courteous.
Like,
So
hey, in
courteous.
case you need a getaway vehicle, I'm here, bro. It's cool.
Exactly. So here, this is another military camp, but this one's slightly different. This one's a wharf. Here, what we wanted to show is just what it's like to take on enemies that are much higher level. So here we'll see some guards. So there's some in the front gate there. So level 25, you see that the badge is red, which is kind of telling the player, yes, you can try. You can try.
Try your best.
You can
Take a
try.
run at him.
Give it a shot. But it's going to be a very difficult fight because you're not at their level just yet. Eventually, by going through quests, by completing locations in the world, you will level up enough. So I would recommend just trying. Carl,
what's your plan here?
Are you going to take on
How are
this
you gonna do
challenge?
this?
Let's. Oh, this guy's. Oh, he looks vulnerable. So let's try a headshot.
He's alone.
Let's try a headshot. See how much damage it does. Oh goodness, it's not going to do a lot.
He's trying to swat a fly.
Yeah, he is.
Oh.
He is
no.
tough.
Yeah,
He's tough.
Just a little scratch.
Yeah.
Get up on him. All right, got the spear.
Oh,
Working it in
damn.
close quarters. And come on, get him, Carl.
Oh boy, here we go.
I believe in you, Carl.
He can
do
take
it.
him. He can take him. Honestly, he can do it. Carl's been practicing. He's very good at the game.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, look
There's
at
a
that
little
one
bit
hit.
of like a stun almost happening. Is that a heavy hit that
Oh, no.
Oh.
Dear Lord.
You get an F for effort. It's okay.
Yeah, 2 hits from me. Okay.
So look, the game is live. This
Yeah.
is, you know,
This
we
is
take,
real gameplay.
Exactly.
Yeah, not
we
pre-recorded.
take we take games very seriously in the sense of we want this to be the representation of the game as it is. We want players to see where it is today. So yes, in a demo playthrough, Carl died in front of everybody.
killed.
But I've learned my lesson.
You don't have to
that.
rub it in, Ash. In front of everybody.
I've learned my lesson, and I'll just keep moving on. The level 25 is too high.
Give them a wide berth now, and so you're coming in. You're like, sort of leaving the wharf and coming.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Yeah. So
There's
Carl
our
just
friend.
called for his mount.
And does this horse have a name?
Yes,
Or is
I
it a
believe-
horse
I
with no
believe-
name?
I believe this horse is named Amun-Re.
Amun-Re.
So,
He's very
but,
handsome. Or
it's a
she.
beautiful horse.
Yeah.
So Senu is our eagle companion. In this case, though, we wanted that mounts was something that the player can actually collect more and more mounts, purchase more and more mounts, and we have many different types of mounts. So there's horses, many types of beautiful horses, but also camels and eventually chariots.
Camels.
Yeah, and they all have their value, and so you can actually have different types of horses. Senu being the eagle companion that stays with you through the journey. So there we go. So we have this beautiful black horse here.
Does the camel
Black
have
stallion.
a spit attack? Because I hear they do that.
A spit attack, no, but you can rear with the horse. You can rear with the horse. The camel.
Get the hooves in there. So we're sort of skirting the shoreline here, and you know, this is, you guys have built, as you were saying in the presentation, this is a country. You know, this is not just one city. So what kind of region are we in?
Yeah, actually, before we go in, so here we found Umeria, which is a port village. Actually, maybe I'll ask Carl to go to the map.
Sure.
You can go to the map just to kind of give a general spacing of the world. So this is the lake that we've seen with Senu. If we keep zooming out, this is the aspect of the demo. The lake is where the demo takes place. Since we were riding a bit north of it earlier,
we started around here.
Yeah, that's how we unfog the world, by visiting the world. You unfog it, but just to give a breadth of this country that we've built.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, move around just to show it's.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's
it keeps
ginormous.
going. It's absolutely massive.
Up to Alexandria in the north.
Yeah, Alexandria.
Nice.
There's the
Nile
Giza
Delta.
Desert, the Nile Delta, the Giza Plateau, Memphis, the ancient city of Memphis, and it goes on. Then there's Fayum, Crocodilopolis down in the south. The world.
Crocodilopolis.
Yes. Real city.
I like that place, Thieves Land. What's going on? Does anybody ever go there?
Really honest
It's
people
just
are
like,
there.
I think
No, you don't wanna go down.
daring players should go there. There's a lot of cool stuff in it for them. So just to give an idea that this is a country. Egypt is it's such a majestic setting, and we've dreamed of going to this place. And so when we started and we decided we're going to Egypt, we understood that it was going to be a labor of love. It was going to push us to develop new technologies, to build such a crazy big world, and then to even populate the world with all these people that actually have agendas and purpose. For example, these people over here are being attracted by an event, if Carl would look at it.
Oh God.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh, Egypt is hard. Egypt, it was a tough life.
Place.
Let's investigate.
Priest, what has the boy done to deserve this? This has nothing to do with you. Back away. The boy will get what he deserves.
I serve Sobek. I am a slave.
Boy, what are you accused of?
I was charged with ferrying 2 gold Sobeks to Crocodilopolis. Just out of port, my ship sank by the lighthouse. I almost drowned. The statues were lost. I didn't steal them.
Silence! And you, step back, Sahedi.
Wait, do not threaten me, Neb. I am a Magi. If the boy speaks the truth, I will find your gold Sobex. If he lies, he is yours to deal with.
So here we got a little bit of a taste of Bayek's personality and his attitude towards these masked priests that abuse their power. And this is a side quest. So our players can expect this type of quality, cinematics, great characters, in the optional content in the side quest. And we have hundreds of stories to tell. Egypt was a really wonderful place. Then we found so much amazing stories that we wanted a way to be able to tell them, and the quest structure allowed us to do that. But again, we're saving the quest stuff for other streams, for YouTubers out there. So for now, we'll continue with playing through the world.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, if you folks are just joining us, we're playing Assassin's Creed Origins on the Xbox One X with Ash and Carl from the Assassin's Creed Origins dev team. I'm Chris, this is Hanny, and we'll be doing this for about 10 more minutes, so stick around. We've got plenty of open world stuff to show you and some explorations here as Senu scouts out some more locations.
She's a good girl.
So here, actually, I'm going to ask Carl to not stealth this one. the reason we're showing these different locations, different camps and warps is actually we wanted to show a bit of stealth. We want to show a bit of fight. So I'm going to ask Carl.
All right. Well, what do we got in our arsenal here?
He needs to earn some redemption.
Oh yeah. Okay.
He needs to
This
earn
time,
redemption.
win this one, Carl.
Okay, let's give it a try.
For the
Okay,
last.
here I come, out the bushes.
Are you going in with the spear?
I'll just shoot him in the chest first to wake them up.
Good wake-up call.
There we go.
Nice.
Okay, all right, all
Nice
right.
dodge.
Come on, Carl. Redeem yourself.
Boom. Nice job so far.
At some point,
yes.
just to show the
One more hit and he's dead.
the versatility of the fight, you can take out your bow. There we go, dynamically in the fight. And,
Oh my God,
headshot. Bravo, bravo.
All right, now is he close to filling up his adrenaline meter here?
Yes.
He seems like that might be helpful.
It's getting there.
against this dude.
It's getting there.
I'll try and use it on the big dude.
He is humongous.
There we go. Okay, just get in there. Unleash. There we go.
Okay.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Okay, here we go.
We're gonna see Carl.
Oh.
Oh,
man,
yeah.
yes!
Nice.
This is
Impaled.
very good. Very good.
That was
Oh, you
beautiful.
done good, Carl.
Oh no.
Oh,
Through the
boy.
throat that time. Nice.
Nice job, Carl. You killed it.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, now give us a little broader context. Who are these dudes that Bayek is dispatching with such panache?
So this is we're in the era of the Ptolemies. So these are Ptolemaic guards. They work for the people that Bayek is going after. And when I say going after, effectively Bayek is unraveling a mystery, and he doesn't know who these characters are that he's after. And so he comes to this place. He's actually looking for a contact to gain some info to lead him to eventually his targets. And these are the Ptolemy guards who work for these people. Bayek, being an Egyptian, a Magi, he doesn't have a very good alignment with these people. They represent,
like
the evil forces that are destroying his homeland. So
It's
anyway,
just
so these are the people he's after. This area of the world, just to say, if we take a look around, yeah, Carl, this is a beautiful shot of the world.
Carl, give us a slow pan here.
So this is
Well, actually, there's a reach eye point, so we can get a better view from there.
Yeah, so we're gonna do a viewpoint.
Viewpoint.
We'll do
Now
the
we're-
viewpoint.
Just for a sec, we're seeing, you know, some serious climbing here, a hallmark of the Assassin's Creed franchise, but that rock didn't have any like obvious handholds on it. Like, what's the approach to climbing in Origins?
So the climbing, actually, before we synchronize, just to look around.
So pretty.
So the climbing in Origins, it's so first we've revamped the controls, the fluidity of the character. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback already from the people who've played the build that feel like the assassin is really responsive, listening to them, doing what they want. And we pushed that to the climbing, where we said, you know what, we should be able to climb any surface we want. So we've created a tech for Bayek when he's climbing to be able to put his hands and footholds into crevices and so on any surface, so effectively to be able to climb anywhere. We wanted, you know, as the most seamless experience that we can have. Here you can see the world is absolutely beautiful. See that that distance, that top peak in the distance? You know, we could just go there at some point if we wish to. Swimming, by boat, by camel, whatever. And there's secrets up there for us. There's really
I
cool
love
stuff.
secrets.
There's really cool discoveries to find. Here, why don't we synchronize? So here, the world is, you know, kudos to our artists, our engineers, our technical artists. You know, this world is something.
Absolutely, and you know, so synchronizing, you know, historically is sort of a way to learn more about an area, sort of clear the fog from an area. But you mentioned earlier, the fog clears by you just traveling through the area.
Yeah, exactly. So we wanted to keep the idea of the viewpoints as an homage to the series.
Leap of faith, there it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Maybe we can explore a bit, walk through the area a little bit, just to give a flavor of the village life. Villages are great places to pick up quests, to go to shops, and obviously there are many quests inside villages. These are hubs of content. But anyway, so we're in a red zone right now.
So will now show us the fleeing technology.
Yeah, I'd recommend fleeing maybe. Or you can fight.
He's feeling strong from his last encounter.
Yeah. Yep.
He's digging that speed.
Real confidence.
Mixing melee and
now we're we're busting out the warrior's bow here. That was a skill we unlocked earlier.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Good point.
Switch to the warrior bow. So the warrior bow, it's effectively Yeah, our shotgun bow, he shoots 5 arrows at once.
There we go.
Oh
Boom.
my God, deadly.
Bravo.
Beautiful. Very efficient.
It shoots 5 arrows at once. So when we talk about attributes and properties, you can actually find bows that you can actually have more arrows on them. You can set them on fire by default. So this compound here, it's actually part of a quest. Don't want to ruin the quest for people, but this is somebody's home that's been, let's say, confiscated, and Bayek will eventually have to help those people.
Oh, it's a porcupine.
That's that's a lot of arrows, but you can recover. It looks like you're recovering them.
Yeah, you can pick up your arrows.
And that ranged combat, that focus on sort of, you know, Assassins have had ranged weapons in the past before, but with the bows in Origins, you guys are really trying to expand that.
Yeah, it's a full-blown third-person shooter on that element. It's we really wanted that the playstyles we push, so range combat, melee, stealth, that this stuff feels authentic, and if you just want to focus on that the game will fully support it and will go deep into that. So we've really pushed ourselves to develop these gameplays. The shooting feels great. The bows feel amazing. And there's a bunch of bows we haven't shown. There's the Predator bow, which is kind of like a sniper.
Can we talk about the cat?
There's a little
Oh my God, there's a cat! This is such a great way to wrap this up. Like we just saw a cat in ancient Egypt. Come on,
in ancient
guys.
Egypt, and you know what? Cats are very important in ancient Egypt.
Can you pet it?
So here, look. So see, okay, look. So systemically, you know, as I said, animals really live in this world, and so this cat has, for some reason, an affection towards Bayek.
He loves you, or she.
Or she's sticking around.
Reciprocate.
Look at she loves them. She loves them.
Carl, we made
As I said, we've put a lot of effort on animals and their needs and what they do in the world. Yeah.
I love that she appeared near the end of this stream. This is amazing.
Fantastic omen.
Yes.
Ash, this has been so great. Carl, thank you for showing off the game. There's a lot more to come this week, and but it must be really exciting for you guys.
You know, it's been a long journey for us. It's absolutely wonderful to be able to show off the game and have people play it, get their feedback, see their excitement. I'm super proud of the team and what we've achieved. Kudos to the Singapore team, to the Montreal team, to all the teams that are working on this game all over the world, with many people supporting us. It's a really wonderful, exciting time for us, and I can't wait for our fans to play this.
Absolutely, and they'll get to play it at E3 here, but later this year, October 27th is the release date.
Yes, October 27th. So October 27th on PS4 Pro, PS4, Xbox, PC, and of course a launch title for Xbox One X.
Fantastic. Well, if you folks want more Assassin's Creed Origins here at E3, there's going to be streams. Keep it tuned to Ubisoft's social channels to find out when and where those are. If you want more Assassin's Creed right now, you can head to the Ubisoft YouTube channel and check out the behind-the-scenes video from the Ubi blog. And for all the awesome games here revealed during that incredible conference, Ubisoft.com, that's where it's at. So on behalf of Hanny, Carl, Ash, I'm Chris Waters, thanking all of you for watching, and have a great week.
Peace.
Thank you. Have a great E3.
We did it, fam! We did it, fam! We did it! Yes! 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 We did it. Fam, we believed. People told us, you're wrong, it won't happen. Shut up. Be quiet. Stop dreaming. You're talking crazy.
And literally thousands
they even
of tweets.
said it's not even going to be at E3, but who believed? Who believed?
Marcus believed.
This guy right here.
He never stopped believing.
Never
Raise your hand up there. Look at that.
There's some footage I think Anna took of the exact moment that we saw of Young and Evil on screen in text.
I don't know if you can hear that. You probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
No, it's laced with obscenities.
But it was really cool because
Peppered.
I've been trying to upload because we actually had like the full, from the very moment this trailer started playing and Marcus went, oh. Then we turned on the phone and Marcus was sitting there alternately like, no, yeah.
He didn't want to dare to dream. He was like, no, in the moment.
No,
and then
the
at the
studio
very,
name came up.
Yeah.
But then at the very end, I was waiting for the explosion and Marcus just goes, I can't believe it. And then I turned off the phone and then he's like, I was right!
Yeah.
I could start screaming at everyone as soon as I turned the phone off.
He was
so-
looking for a target to be like
Yeah.
in your face.
Yeah. It was a great moment because as long as I've even known what you cared about with E3, you've been talking about that.
I mean, there's a couple of guys. I'm going to give a shout out to Fat Baby and Martin Mumbles, and we like for years have been this like collective, trifecta of like this will be the year, guys. Like we'll do it. We'll do it. So I was like, boys, our hope made this happen. They're going to make a Disney movie out of this because that's how real this
out of like
hope
3
and
people
want.
who dared to hope.
And like Beyond Good and Evil 2 is actually going to be new to a lot of people. And first
It's new
off,
to me, and
go
I just
play
wanted
the
to
first one.
I just wanted to say, like, it looks fantastic for someone who has no idea what that first game is.
Wait, so tell us, for people who didn't play the first one, this is like a prequel or a sequel?
So
What is
actually, it's amazing because I was so excited and just like in awe of what I was seeing. They released a lot of information that just went
It was a
right
prequel.
through me.
That
right
I did
through me.
hear. Is that it was a
prequel, they did
yeah.
mention. It sounds like it's way more world focused, which is one of the great things about Beyond Good and Evil 2. Or Beyond Good and Evil is the world that it creates, and one of the reasons why when we think about video games and the worlds that they live in, there's ones that are like, okay, this is like great, it's neat, and then there's like worlds that are like Star Wars, where it's like this is totally sets itself apart from other worlds, and it had that feeling to it, and so that was one of the reasons why I was always like, these characters are great, these personalities are great, the humor is good, but also the social commentary is amazing. So I'm really curious to see what this means for the franchise. But like the most important part, because obviously through the reaction video, I'm like, where's Jade? Where's Jade? Like there's, Jade. And, that was a bit of a surprise, but at the same time, focusing on the world. To me, I'm okay because that means this franchise is alive. I will see Jade eventually, no matter what.
You've been wondering where it was, lost out there in the abyss, and you hoped against hope that it wasn't dead, and it's not. It's alive.
Also, you beat the Ubisoft mind game.
You did.
Of the event.
You called it. All of us were like, "Oh, poor
They've been
Marcus."
silent for
Yeah,
years.
they were like, they're letting him down early this year, so he doesn't focus the
'Cause
whole
he's like,
show on a
"We
game
won't-"
that won't happen.
Yeah, they flat out said that they would not have Beyond Good and Evil 2, and Marcus was like, they haven't said anything the last few years. They said something, and that means something, and we're like, but they said it wasn't.
Oh yeah,
wouldn't mean
tinfoil
anything.
hat,
He's a detective.
Illuminati.
You know what though? Can we give a shout out? Like, do that more.
Yeah.
Tell us it's not. Leak something else. Keep us guessing. That was like the greatest E3 experience I've ever had right there.
One of my favorite things was right before we go, like, come back from the Ubisoft thing, he's like, "Can I get a cough drop?"
Yeah.
I
yelled himself silly.
Yeah. And it's so funny because today I've seriously gone back and forth. Bethesda last night, where I was like, confident that this and what we'd heard was going to happen. And then, there were some announcements, and man, that really put me way down here for thinking this was going to happen again. So I'm excited. It wasn't the only thing that Ubisoft talked about, so we want to, but.
I want to know why you love this franchise so much. Because we all know that you do.
There's such an easy answer. Play the first game. And then discover for yourself why it's so amazing.
But I want to know why you like it.
Because I think the characters, the relationships of the characters, especially where it's like this isn't a human and a human. There's like a human and a pig race, and then this other person, and then this like spirit and the children, and there's emotion with all the characters. And I like emotional games. I like to see relationships expand. And so, that's the one thing that's exciting is they show all the different like kind of races. There's a lot about the whole concept of a revolution and sort of fight the man and fight the power. So that's why. But like play the first game. Like it's on Steam. You can pull out one of your old consoles. They made it for like 5 different platforms. And the reason they did is because people kept rediscovering it. So like, don't let my words speak for it. Let the game speak for it. It's great.
That was beautiful.
I know, I love it.
It's really
Right
special
on.
when somebody
It's so
loves a game
nice.
like that.
It goes with our theme this year.
Yeah,
like, E3
relationships
2000,
as
2017
gameplay.
Relationships,
Yeah. Hey, you're right. So the funny thing is that there was another big announcement that kicked off Ubisoft, and that was the Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which turned out to be a tactics game, but I almost feel like that really got overshadowed by this Goliath that came to it. But they had
put them
Miyamoto
as
on
far
stage.
away from each other as possible.
They really
you
did.
noticed?
What'd you guys think of this? It seemed at first like they were really kind of, this was an action game.
Well, we went on the same kind of emotional journey, right, Zeke? At first, you thought this was a full, like, RPG.
Yeah,
like,
Super Mario RPG. I was like, come on, put the Rabbids in. I don't give a shit. I want another Mario RPG. And then I saw it was like Mario Rabbids XCOM, and I went, okay, I'm not mad at this. I'm not mad at this. And then I saw kind of how it worked out, and I went, you know what? This makes even more of a case for the Switch for me to buy it, because I haven't bought it yet. Because that's one of the, XCOM was one of the games I played on my iPad, on the go, like in airports and all that kind of stuff. And you can take the Switch with you.
Did anyone think like it was a little confusing as they first started showing the gameplay? Because like they did a lot of stuff exploring before they actually got to any sort of battle.
That was on purpose, because it almost felt like they were trying to be like, look, it's kind of like a Mario adventure like you recognize, kind of has some ideas that are like, you know, Mario 64, but maybe you have a team instead. And then all of a sudden, he was right. I mean, we were told we'd get something that was completely new to Mario, and this is absolutely completely new to Mario.
Yeah, these Mario games do this tricky thing where, like, even if you think back to Mario Party, most people even forget it. There was this element of, like, town building in some of them and, like, you know, gathering things and buying items. And I think those things are hooks for different people, but I'm wondering what the main mechanic is here. And I guess it's this, what we're kind of seeing on the overview.
And then they take
this tactical gameplay, but you have to go through so much, it seems, to even get here.
Yeah, I you know, certainly a lot more to discover as far as is concerned. But I agree with you. It does seem like a good Switch title. We kind of were talking about that earlier, is that made a lot of sense. Ubisoft has traditionally been on a lot of the Nintendo hardware. I think the comedy of the Rabbids will lend really well to the Mario universe, as we kind of saw already in the trailer.
Oh, the Rabbids sniffing out Peach was hilarious.
Yeah, it felt so fresh. I was thinking about that because I'm actually a huge Rabbids fan. Like, I loved Rayman Raving Rabbids, and it's been, like, let's say almost a decade since we have really done the Rayman Raving Rabbids party game thing, and I've missed them, but I didn't know for sure how well the humor would translate to Anna now from Anna then, and I was sitting there cracking up at the stupid faces and sounds they make, and then putting them next to Mario and Peach, who have such a defined world that I also love, but almost kind of made them a little silly, in taking themselves so seriously, which is something that I think Nintendo kind of shies away from a lot of the time. Like, the persona of Mario and the persona of Peach are so sacred. So I feel like this is a big step to kind of say, like, it's okay, we'll let them take themselves a little less seriously, you know? So I'm super into that.
We're going to Montana, Far Cry 5. Love that trailer too.
Holy
Slow and
jeez.
steady, and then once the guns start firing, you know, get into the
all the way to Montucky.
We talked a lot about it while it was playing, and everyone in the room, everyone almost said it's great. And I even came out and said, you know, it seems weird to be so excited for a game that has 5 after it, because you know,
Well, I'm excited for your stream that you mentioned that you're going to do.
Yes, I'm going to cosplay as Zeke when I play Far Cry 5.
Oh my God. That'll be, you're going to need a lot of cough drops.
You're right. I will.
Zeke is from Montana, so does it look faithful to the Montana you know and
the
love?
look of it is perfect. It remains to be seen if they have, like I was saying before the conference, we had the Freeman. So there's a share of I don't know, out there people that gravitate towards Montana because it's so big and you can get lost, you know. It's like you can go to a town that's far away from everything. And that's what Hope County seems like. And when it said Hope County is a county. It's not a city. It's a county. It's huge. Like, it's expansive. So there could be like 30 or 40 small towns within the county. You know, but like the look of it. I saw right when it came up with the fields of grain, I went, that's Far Cry. It's got to be. Because the fields of grain, and this, like, they don't make the town bigger, which I like. They keep it nice and small because that's what it looks like. You have a church, you have a bar, and you have a post office, and that's what makes a town in Montana.
My God. So this game is so brutal. I forget how hardcore Far Cry is.
Oh, yeah. It'll be pretty good. I'm really excited for this one.
But I'm glad they put towers in there. There's a water tower. There's a tower.
Exactly. Real quickly, the VR, what was it called again? Transference.
With Elijah
That
Wood?
seems a little crazy, but I like it.
That'd probably be like of the Ubisoft reveals or whatever. That was my favorite because I was very on the fence about VR even after playing it a little bit, and then I got to Resident Evil 7. The VR experience of that was fucking fantastic. It was spot on as far as feel. and they touched on so many fears. But I want more of that. I want more of like the fear and the cold sweat that comes with being in VR because it's right there. So I can't wait to see if this like really nails it because it looks like it does, and it has Elijah Wood's stamp. So I'm with Frodo.
I thought it was really interesting because we talked about how everything was nominated for, what was it, an Academy Award?
Oscar or
Yeah. And this looks very much to me like a film game crossover, like an interactive experience that's more along the lines of narrative than gameplay mechanics, which I think is really interesting. And I kind of welcome that, the collaboration between the film and entertainment industry and the games industry, because we're very much in the same world.
Yeah. Yeah. Assassin's Creed, and then, I mean, we've seen that. We've talked a little bit about it, so let's talk about pirates is the other theme, right?
Yes,
Skull and Bones.
God, that looks good. That was my number 2, like, of all the reveals. Like, that looks amazing.
A ways
and
away,
it has
too.
a Kraken.
I don't know.
That was crazy.
It looked, I thought, beautiful but shallow. Like, not a great relationship material kind of situation.
Well, I mean, you got to work together.
You know,
the ships. I
there
feel,
are moments the moments that excited me most looked like cutscenes.
right.
So,
well,
I
I mean, fall 2018 for that one. So a long ways
take
away.
your time,
There's
make
time.
it
A lot of that.
right. I like the idea. I mean, it seemed like the idea of the game is you are not a pirate, you are a pirate ship. So you're a ship full of pirates.
See, I wanna
so you
start in
transfer
a
from the
dinghy
crow's nest
with
to
a guy that
the
has a
cannon
pistol.
to the ship wheel to everything.
Yeah.
Like you
a little
control
bit like
it all.
FTL, sort of. Like.
I love that idea. I think that's a great idea, and I mean, they took pages from Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and I'm sure they took some lessons from Dreadnought with the ship combat and stuff like that. It looks fantastic. The water physics, the boats themselves.
Yeah. God, the
I
water
was actually kind of calling for. I was hoping that they had like more like visible ship destruction, like when your ship gets hit with a cannonball, like wood pieces fly up and stuff.
Yeah.
I was hoping for it. I didn't see it, but you know, maybe in the future.
All right, well, we could talk a little bit longer, but hopefully you enjoyed the Ubisoft press conference. Got a few more games, show off, a few guests that are going to be stopping by. And don't forget, we got the Sony press conference also happening at 6 p.m. PST. But we're going to check in with Kelly and John out on the balcony, who are obviously just as happy as I am and we are that Beyond Good and Evil 2 has been announced.
Yeah, Marcus, I'm really happy about that. Although, you know, I'm going to let you believe that was actually Beyond Good and Evil 2. I don't believe it. It's my choice. I don't think it happened. It never happened. I want you to never have it. I was happier. I'm a happier person knowing that you're miserable. And now when I got to see you happy, and when you said F you to my face, that made me feel sad. So I'm going to believe that whole thing never happened. I want to live there. That's where I'm going to live.
If you guys didn't see the blow up on Twitter, go to DJ
It's
Weed's
there.
Twitter.
Man,
Why are you
I'm not
upset
happy
about
about
Why?
that. I know it's because it's better seeing Mark. See? That was one of those was at me. One of those was at me, and I sat there and I was like, I'm hurt in my heart. You hit me in my heart. You see, I pointed in my chest. Ow. I'm happy. Look, misery loves company.
Okay.
And Marcus and I would like call each other late at night and be like, oh, you know, do you think it'll ever come out? And I'm like, no.
Never.
Never. Just like Last Guardian was never going to come
Is there
out.
anything you're happy about
I'm
from
happy about
Ubisoft?
Skull and Bones because it's about the Illuminati. Pirates.
The Pirate Illuminati.
The Pirate Illuminati.
The Kraken at the
I'm
end?
actually
That's, okay.
really, really, really excited for Skull and Bones because the Black Sails from Assassin's Creed, that was awesome. And so I'm really excited for this game. I think it's going to be a pretty big hit.
Well, we know what our hosts are excited about, but guys, we want to know what you are excited about. We are going to do a poll right now in chat to see what your favorite reveal was for Ubisoft, Mario and Rabbids, Beyond Good and Evil 2, Transfer, and Skull and Bones. See, I still think, I said this earlier, I think this is a bit biased because I think people will vote for what emote they like the most.
Is that how that works? So
well,
the
no,
cool cat.
You're supposed to vote for what you think is right. And look at that, man. It is so skewed. Beyond Good and Evil 2, 80%.
Yeah, I think that's rigged.
If you take
I
it
think
out of
Russia
there-
got involved on that one.
If you take that out of there, I'm actually surprised that Mario and Rabbids is up so high. I personally like it. It looks like XCOM meets a tactics game.
Yeah.
Meets
All the things that are great in a Mario game
I
that you've
guess.
played before, right?
Well, no, that's the thing. We've like Mario RPG is the closest thing to this Mario and Rabbids game that we played before.
I was saying this. It's too unfamiliar. Put Mario back into paper. Put Mario in
Mario paper?
Give him a
Paper
tennis
Mario?
racket. Give him a boxing glove. Make him play soccer. What else does he do? He does so many things, but he cannot be in a tactics game. There's no way.
Why?
Unbelievable.
Why?
I don't want it. I just don't believe it. I can't believe. I can't wrap my head around Mario being tactical. He's not Snake. He's a plumber.
Okay.
There you go. You feel it? You
Well, what
understand?
about Mario Sunshine? Were you on board with him?
He had a jetpack,
Yeah.
and we all like jetpacks. We all want jetpacks. So yeah, I was okay with that. It
Okay.
made sense.
All right. All right. Well, we're going to be talking about The Evil Within in just a few minutes, guys. Or The Evil Within 2,
Evil
actually.
Within 2, yeah.
What do you think about that?
Oh, well, I have a lot of that. So I keep most of the Evil Within.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
the real one that I'm scared about is the Evil Without. That's out in the world out there.
See what I have to work with?
So yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Well, hold on real quick, because when Beyond Good and Evil 2 got announced 15 years ago, Marcus was 50 years old. So I'm really actually starting to think that it's a good thing that it finally is coming out. He's 75 years old right now, so we have to make sure that the game. Don't worry about math.
Okay.
Don't worry about math. It's okay. We finally got that game. He's finally got something to be excited for. He's an old man.
There you go. More people voting for Skull and Bones. Now, what are you thinking in comparison to the other Pirates game?
What other Pirates game?
The one that we saw yesterday. And I can't
Oh,
think of it.
you mean Sea of Thieves?
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome too. We can listen. We want all the pirate games we can get. This is a big world out there. A lot of ocean. Most of the planet's ocean, so there should be tons of pirate games.
Well, I mean, we're all excited about all these games, guys. And of course, we got another game coming up right nuts. It is The Evil Within 2. Let's head back to the stage.
Thanks, Kelly and John. Yesterday over in Los Angeles, Bethesda Land opened up, and many of our fans got to head on over and enjoy the festivities and the activities and the announcements that you guys had. I saw people eating cotton candy and
Turkey
drinking
legs.
Nuka-Cola, and I
bit of
was
everything.
a little
Yep.
sad I was not there, but it looks like you definitely showed everyone a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pete Hines, VP of Marketing and PR Bethesda, to the stage. And yesterday, one of the happy announcements from Bethesda fans was The Evil Within 2.
Yeah.
And we see the return of a character that we got to visit and play and interact with in 2014 in The Evil Within. Tell us a little bit about this, and also the story of sort of it coming this year. I think a lot of people are happy with that.
So it is the sequel to The Evil Within, and Shinji Mikami and his team returning to survival horror, something that obviously he knows well since he basically started the genre. They've been hard at work since The Evil Within and some of the DLCs that they did, working on the sequel and what they wanted that to be. So it takes place a little bit after the events in the first game. Sebastian's life has basically completely fallen apart after the events of the first Evil Within. Nobody really believes him and sort of his story of what happened at the asylum, and he's kind of lost everything. It picks up with him being contacted by Julie Kidman, who is his partner in the first game, and spoiler alert, unbeknownst to him, is working with kind of the bad guys. She comes back and contacts him and says, hey, the daughter you thought was dead and that you lost a long time ago is actually alive, has been sort of taken by Mobius, which is this nefarious faction, and they are using her to kind of help power this virtual world that they create. And that's really the kickoff for Sebastian kind of getting back into it and trying to sort of get his daughter back and at the same time figure out what the hell these Mobius guys are up to. But it's really a game about you wanting to find your daughter and get back something that you lost, and hopefully use that to kind of piece your life back together.
One piece, back together to get it going. And instantly fans noticed, and everyone took notice. The obviously the graphics and sort of the overhaul that it's seen. The game certainly has upped its creepiness level to what looks like Beyond 10.
I was watching the trailer and with everybody here, and there was just
audible gasps.
Every moment, just like, oh no, ah.
Yeah, it doesn't come across as like a fun, happy action adventure game.
But that's also like what the game was supposed to encompass in a lot of ways.
For sure. I mean, we're trying to set a vibe and a tone for, not only kind of what we want the game experience to be like, but also the tone of the world. This kind of unsettling notion that at any given moment you don't really know what's going to happen or like how to proceed. And we've tried to expand on that this time around. I think one of the things that Shinji and team has tried to introduce is some more open areas to the game. Evil Within was a much more linear game, that there were some areas where you could kind of approach in different ways, but it was still like you're on this main quest through. And this time we've got some more like side questy things which are not necessarily meant to move the story ahead, but because, you know, in sort of in mode of true survival horror, resources are really scarce. You end up like, I don't have a lot of bullets, and I don't really have a way to heal myself. And
God,
so these side quests.
I mean, I love it, but I hate it. Like,
so you're sort of encouraged to explore if you need to or want to for resources, or you know, as opposed to just like I'm going to kind of beeline it straight through the story. That there's more things to do off of the side and different ways to kind of approach, but it's all kind of up to you to decide how much of that you want to do. And it's not that it's now just this big open world, but like, as you move through the game, there are different areas that you get to where you're going to get side missions and other stuff that you could do, or places you can go explore kind of at your own pace if that's something you're interested in.
I also, we hear stories occasionally from developers who say, like especially a game that comes out right around that early console cycle, that we had all these ideas that we wanted to do or that we really wanted to implement, and maybe we were just not quite there in terms of unlocking the power of the console. Does any of that exist in The Evil Within 2?
100%. 100%. I mean, to your point, when these guys started off, they had originally started off working on last gen only. And because of the time frame that they were releasing the game, they ended up adding the next gen platforms. But now that this is a current gen only platform, and they've had a go around on this hardware to learn sort of what it does and how to take advantage of it, and kind of can purpose build it for that, as opposed to 360 and Xbox One or PS3 and PS4. It makes a lot of difference when you're able to kind of not only focus in platform wise, but also be able to build on all those things that you learned. Whether you're Tango or literally any other developer, they will all tell you, the more iterations you get on a piece of hardware, the more you learn sort of tips and tricks and how to get the most out of the hardware.
Right. Well, I have a bunch of questions, but Zeke, I'm kind of.
No, it's all right. No, I'm a horror game buff. I love horror games. I love when games push the envelope. The trailer showed some really sort of disturbing images. I'm just wondering, like, what has changed, like, or improved from this one or from the last one to this one?
Sure. I mean, from a big picture standpoint, it's a couple things. Number one, you mentioned the visual fidelity,
right?
Which is not to say that a game that doesn't look really good can't be really fun. I mean, I thought the Minecraft stuff yesterday, the 4K was great, but like Minecraft was doing just fine with it wasn't trying to look photorealistic.
It's been a running gag on Twitter. It's like, here's Minecraft in 4K.
But when you're trying to create a sense of place and environment, and at Bethesda, that's one of our hallmarks is that you have this sense of place, whether it's the stuff that Arcane does or Machine Games or Bethesda Game Studios or in this case Tango, that visual fidelity does allow you to do sort of better creepy dark hallways and things with lighting, and that just give you a much better sense of being grounded in the world. So that's certainly one. I think we've done a lot more this time around with character and story that we have in the past. We've been working with Trent Haga, who is a well-known film script writer, just won an award at South by Southwest for some of his horror film work. And we've been working with him on The Evil Within to make Sebastian and the story a lot more personal and a lot more engaging. I think last time around you were sort of on this trip with him, but it didn't have a lot of context other than like he's a detective trying to find things out. But this time around, it's about your daughter, and it's about sort of his life falling apart and trying to piece all that together. And then I mentioned the kind of the exploration aspect, that there is more of that for players to be able to do, kind of not choose your own path, but to be able to explore different parts of the environment to try and scrounge and grab resources if they want to. If they feel like, I just want to plow through and kind of main story and see where this is going, totally fine. But there is more of that available to players.
So to that point, mentioning the sort of search for the daughter, does that mean we're going to maybe explore and visit more locales in that regard?
Yeah, for sure. You get there's a healthy amount of diversity in terms of where you are and what you're doing, and what's happening in the world that Sebastian goes to find his daughter. Is part of what happens there are these kind of big, I almost use the word cataclysmic, world-changing events where the world itself is kind of getting warped and twisted around you as you're moving through it, which definitely gives you, more of a sense of scale and scope. You're outside more. In Evil Within, you spend a lot of time in interior spaces or really tightly confined exterior spaces, but I think they've played with that a lot more in terms of changing up how that feels and making it feel a little bit more diverse and playing with that kind of I'm inside and it feels very claustrophobic, and then I'm outside and maybe it feels open, but
two different things from how it looks to how it sounds. Like, yeah, definitely a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, and audio is certainly a huge thing for those folks as well. And you get some sense of that in the trailer. I mean, visuals are important, but
I'm glad you brought that up because I think a horror movie like lives and dies on sound.
Yeah.
A horror movie, a horror game lives and dies on sound. Like you can have a creepy thing in front of you, but what makes it creepy is what it sounds like.
Or the sounds that precede it.
Exactly.
Right? Like what you're hearing when you don't see anything, and sort of how that makes you feel.
It tells you to be scared.
Yeah. And then the sort of the twist is when you hear those things and you've totally set yourself up for like, okay, here comes something, and then there's nothing, and you're like, oh, now I'm really thrown off because I thought for sure I had braced myself for the thing to happen, and it didn't. So now I really don't know what to expect or when it's going to happen.
I hear so many footsteps in so many games that do not exist all the time. It's all due to just the amazing sound design of
and with that comes one of the other things, which is lots more kind of interesting enemies and to face. You see in the trailer that we showed this house that this crazy guy Stefano has, where he sort of views brutality and death as this psychotic form of art. He's the guy who's knifing the soldier, and the rose petals come out of him, and the guy's frozen in space.
That was pretty cool. That really stuck with me.
He has this really freaky. You see a quick glimpse of her. Obscura is like a kind of living, moving, deformed camera thing.
Camera
You see her, right?
That's like the first cameras.
Yeah. So the not only just the Sebastian and the story and character there, but the character of the enemies that you're going to come across and the different bosses you're going to have to face, I think will feel very fresh and different from some of the stuff that you faced in than Evil Within. I mean, like we all love Boxman. He was great, but like throwing some different stuff at the player that either provides different gameplay challenges or just like, oh my God, what is that thing and how do I get away from it? I think is important.
I loved watching the trailer because I like a diverse, like you touched on so many different feelings and fears, like whether it be like the fetal image or the image of the white, like, flowing over them, the weird movements of different things.
That's a recurring theme that's going to happen in the world, is that white oozy stuff as it manifests itself and is kind of a part of the world and sort of warping and changing it and so forth. That wasn't just for effect. That's actually part of the game and sort of what's taking place is this ooze you find all around the world.
So when I was watching the conference and kind of following along on Twitter, there were definitely a few questions about the Evil Within that were coming up, Evil Within 2. And I totally get why these questions were asked, especially because, talked about Fallout VR and, of course, the new Doom VFR experience. And immediately people were like, Evil Within 2, sign me up. Bethesda, where's that VR experience? And I have to imagine that, with your guys' interest and the push and the advancements that you have made, that it certainly seems like a world that would do pretty well in there. But I have to imagine, it's most important to get the game out. But come on, Pete, you guys looking at maybe
I
some VR
would say that every studio that we have is taking a look at VR and how they might use it. And one of the things I tried to emphasize is we can talk about anything. I could talk about stuff that's going to happen 3 years ago, but I can't show you anything.
Right.
We wanted this year to be a focus on everything we're talking about is coming out this year. It isn't all of the stuff that we're working on, but it's the things that we felt not only we were confident in, but we could also show you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we really love the CG part and doing all of that to kind of set things up, but like there's gameplay. You can see what it looks like. You can see what it feels like for Wolfenstein, for Evil Within 2. And so to that end, like I prefer to wait until we can do more showing and less telling.
Well, I feel like I had to ask.
That was one of the things that was a recurring theme on Twitter, because you go to Twitter for any conference and there's going to be like lovers, haters, and whatever. But the one recurring theme that I saw with your particular conference is they showed stuff that's going to be soon.
That's what
it's
people
coming
want.
soon.
Right, the release dates, yeah.
Yeah, they tell you it's like, this is why we're showing it to you now, because you can have it very soon.
Yeah, and we haven't always done
that
that in past years. You know, we showed Dishonored 2 trailer for the very first time, even though that game didn't end up coming out to the following year. We did the same thing for Doom. And again, this year, we wanted to sort of focus on more of an immediacy. And again, like, for me, there's a lot of conferences. I mean, you guys watch all of these press conferences, and for me, I really wanted to keep things pacey. I didn't want to, like, we could have spent an hour and a half showing stuff. Like, I could have made the Machine Games guys go do 35 minutes of stuff. But you know what? We have lots of stuff in our booth. We have hands-on. We have lots more we can kind of be rolling out over the coming days and weeks. And I wanted to keep things going, and I wanted to focus on, like, hey, this is all about the here and now. Stuff coming out this month, next month, a couple of months from now, but, you know, all by the end of the year.
Well, I know at least one person who you made very, very happy with Fallout VR. I'll tell you that.
It's a pretty great experience.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Pete. Very excited for The Evil Within 2 coming out October 13th on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And we've got another Bethesda title coming up next. We're going to take a quick little break, but when we return, we're going to have Wolfenstein: The New Colossus coming up here right on the stage. Join us for more E3 on Twitch right after this.
Welcome back, everyone, to E3 on Twitch 2017, guys. Kelly Link here, joined by Ezekiel III. And joining the couch, we got Jens and Jörg. And we are going to be taking a look at Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. Guys, how you doing? How's E3 going for you?
It's going great. We're very happy to be here.
Yeah? How was your initial reaction to the release that you guys did for the first showing of Wolfenstein 2?
We were super psyched.
Yeah?
Super psyched to finally show it off. We've been working on it for like 3 years, and it's always amazing to get to show it, and so you can answer people when they ask you, what are you working on? We can show what we do.
So you guys have been working on this since, I mean, 3 years ago, that's when the New Order came out, correct? So since then, this is what you guys have been working towards?
It's a little bit, because most of the team were working on this standalone that we did called The Old Blood. But
the
some
expansion,
of us,
right.
Yeah, but some of us, like me, I was writing scripts and stuff for New Colossus.
So are we following the same protagonist? Are we following BJ? Is that like, are we going directly from the New Order?
Yeah, it's a direct sequel. So where New Order ended is where this game picks up. Yeah, so BJ has survived, but he is in very poor shape when this game starts.
Well, can you spoil a little bit? What's the start of the story? What exactly is putting our hero in such peril?
We don't want to give spoilers.
Okay, I'm sorry. I keep asking the wrong questions. Well,
no, but I can say because we have this hands-on at E3, which is basically because the game starts with like a prologue, but the first like real combat level is takes place in a wheelchair because BJ is badly injured. So
that's, I mean, a lot of people love the combat from not the first Wolf. I mean, there's like 7 games of Wolfenstein right now. I want to say the first one, but the New Order. And how do you take the combat from that and put it into a wheelchair? Was that difficult or was it exciting for you?
It was exciting for us, of course, but yeah, I mean, we treat it as the player in any other situation, so you can pretty much move around and do most of the regular combat anyway. You can strafe and you can move backwards and forward, and it's pretty funny.
Do wheelie. Do wheelie, flip your legs.
There's no like special wheelchair moves? No?
Only when the IK freaks out, then interesting things happen. But but it was a lot of fun for us because conceptually it's cool. Like, I wonder if we can do a level where you're rolling around in a wheelchair shooting Nazis. And but it's one thing to think about it, and it's a whole different other thing to actually make it work.
Right.
But that turned out really well, so we're extremely happy.
It's funny in staircases and stuff as well, you know.
Yeah.
Just go down. Never up.
It's like he can whoop hundreds of asses, but stairs. That's tough.
The limit.
Tough. He can do it, but it's going to take a second.
So are we in the same setting, or are we going to new locations? Obviously, this is a bit. It's the world, but it's in a new setting.
Right, so the whole structure of this story is sort of igniting a revolution in America, and by liberating America, making that as the platform to liberate the rest of the world.
So you guys are going beyond America's?
That's not what this game is about. It's all about making that first significant step of having some free territory, right? So I think we always envisioned it as a trilogy. So this is the.
So you're saying that there's a third one coming up?
Well, I mean, it all depends. It depends on how this one does and so forth. But that would be the dream for us.
Oh, it'll be fine. I saw the trailer, but it looks good.
You know, actually, a new trailer released today, and I think we actually have that available right now. So let's take a look at the new Wolfenstein 2 trailer.
Yes, the most wunderbar soldier who ever lived now brings exciting battle action to the American territories. With an all-new collection of authentic regime forces and elite Hans action sets. And introducing, straight from the headlines, the vile BJ Terror Billy Blazkowicz. A cold-blooded killer that must be stopped. Terror Billy is always sneaking, spying, or smashing. But with the help of elite Hans and General Engel, you can bring this terrorist to justice. Why, you'll be a hero of the Empire in no time. Add Terror Billy to your collection today and bring glory to the home front with Elite Hans, the Empire's posable protector.
Monsters did this. Not monsters. Men.
It actually comes with a figure. You can pre-order it and you get your. That's amazing. I thought that was just a joke. What about the rest of the figures? Is those going to be released eventually as collectible figures?
If this one takes off, who knows? But
God, brought back so many childhood memories. It was just a nostalgia trip because every single toy I bought had a commercial just like that.
Yeah.
Where it was like, you know, you're in your backyard, you set up little rocks.
Power Rangers
and,
figures.
You know, you blow it up. It was amazing. What else? Something else I saw in that trailer was some of the weapons. Can you tell us, like, are there any new, improved changes in weapons from the last one to this one?
Yeah, I would say that everything is new.
Okay.
Of course, some of the weapons are pretty similar.
Sure.
But the arsenal that BD has it's all new. And we also are doing a lot more upgrades this time around, so you can... There's a lot of
modding that you can do to the game?
Yeah, to some extent at least. So, and one of our big things now is that we're also allowing the player to freely duel with weapons.
That's what I was going to do, because I saw you had two different weapons.
So it's pretty fun when you can, if you move around in an area and sneak around, you have a silenced handgun in one hand and you have a fully automatic shotgun in the other.
The panic weapon.
The panic weapon. So should you get detected...
But go away.
You have a very powerful backup then, which is good.
Is there anything from the previous game that fans like really wanted more of, or maybe that they didn't think that there was enough of in the New Order that you guys focused on in this Wolfenstein 2?
I think we were always had a pretty clear vision of what we wanted to do. So and it's amazing this time around because we're building off our own foundation. So we seeded a lot of story ideas and stuff in the first game that we can build upon now and that can flourish in a way. So that's super cool. But of course, we're always paying attention to, like, if we do a focus test or whatever. Like one of the interesting critiques we got lately was that the characters were too interesting.
Shame on you, whoever said that. Shame on you.
Well, did they become too attached to them?
I think, I mean, we have a shitload of story content in the game. Like we have over 3 hours of cinematics. And,
wow.
And yeah, so it's very dense in terms of the storytelling. But of course, we try to make all of our characters, no matter how small part they have, as interesting as we can make them.
Was it difficult writing for this? Because it's not a touchy well, it is, right? It's a very risky subject, talking about the Nazis winning World War II, and like you can see the Ku Klux Klan in the trailer video. Was it difficult for you to write a story, or did you feel like this was exciting, like it was a challenge?
Oh yeah, it's always exciting, but I think the big thing is that you need a publisher that is willing to give you that creative freedom to explore these themes, right? So of course there is a way to make a Wolfenstein game where the Nazis are sort of cartoony and, you know, speak English with a German accent or whatever.
Right.
But we try to make it as authentic as we can make it, of course, within the parameters of our freaked out world. But it's not like it's realistic, but it's truthful in a way, you know?
I completely understand, and I appreciate that, that risk that you guys did go, because obviously the game looks amazing. And
thank you.
Want to just say that this is going to be released October 27th on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I wanted to talk about the robotic animal in this. Can you?
Panzerhund.
The Panzerhund.
Yeah. Can you tell me, like, I want to know how do you write for something like that, because they have a personality.
Right. Well, I mean, it's a lot of it is because the projects are so incredibly long.
Right.
So you start off with your ideas and you have a kind of a feeling when you get an idea that this is a strong idea.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, as you iterate on whatever that idea is over the years, you start to lose that. You know, when you see something for the 300th time, right? It's hard to recall it. But I think that's very, very important to try and always recall what made you enthusiastic about it in the beginning, and then maintain that throughout development. I'm not sure that's quite answering your question, but that goes for everything in the game. Like, I remember having the idea for the Panzerhund, I think in 2010, probably.
Liesel, right?
No, well, it's how it. So basically, there's a class of robot dogs.
Oh, okay.
And one of them is used as a propaganda piece by the Nazi authorities.
Gotcha. All right.
So obviously that's like a Lassie
Way Out
parody.
is a story-driven co-op game. It is designed.
When we heard that concept, we just loved it. So
I fell in love
really
immediately.
Cool.
Like
yeah.
I want a giant bear-shaped dog robot that breathes fire.
Don't we all? Don't we all? Jens, Jörg, thank you guys for joining us so much. Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, will be coming out October 27th on all consoles. Guys, thank you for joining us. But of course, we have more content coming up right after this. Let's head back to the balcony.
Thank you very much. Hello, Kelly Link. I'm here with Rachel, and we're going to take this time to talk a little bit more about the things that you can catch this week at E3. I mean, it's hard to believe that technically E3 starts tomorrow. This is the press day. The expo floor hasn't even opened. As such, a lot of the things happening around E3 also have not opened. One of them behind us. Rachel, what is this?
Well, you've actually sort of been with us as we've watched this be assembled behind us. But this is the esports arena, and this is actually going to be sponsored by T-Mobile. We're going to see a lot of competitive games over the course of the week. We've got starting things off with Street Fighter, I think, tomorrow.
Yes, Street Fighter, and then Tekken 7, which is recently released, and also has a new league coming as well. And then Overwatch, a really popular game right now that maybe you've played, maybe you haven't, but I'm guessing you probably have.
So
That's
actually,
gonna be here as well.
There's something special about the Overwatch. That's going to take place Thursday. I think it starts around 5 p.m. PT, and this is going to be a showcase of 2 of the World Cup teams. Last year for BlizzCon, I hosted the World Cup tournament, and we brought teams from all around the world. With teams representative of those nations.
Do you know the 2 teams?
It's going to be North America and Canada here. With their debut rosters. I know you know Huck from StarCraft.
Of course,
He's going to be helping out on Team Canada. We've got Stir and Jason Kaplan, of course, doing some stuff for Team USA, so it'll be interesting.
All right, and so the way it's going to work is on twitch.tv/Twitch Esports every day at noon. They'll be going live. Like we mentioned, it's going to be Street Fighter on the first day, Tekken 7 on the second day.
Injustice on day 3.
Oh, Injustice.
Yeah, we got Street Fighter. Monday, Street Fighter.
Got it.
Tuesday,
Today's Monday.
Tekken. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Tuesday's Street Fighter. Wednesday.
Wednesday's Injustice.
Okay.
Thursday's Overwatch.
Where's Tekken?
Wait, maybe it starts tomorrow. Anyway, that's the order. It starts tomorrow. Right? It can't start now. It's not done being built.
Esport. I thought it started tomorrow. Maybe.
You're right.
Yeah, because it's 3 days noon every single day.
It's true. It sounds right.
We got
it sounds
that.
good to me.
And you can also follow just /Twitch Esports, and you can Sully stop it right now, man. We're gonna stop the segment if we don't just start behaving right now, Sully.
It's actually entirely our cameraman's fault.
We've got a poll for you guys as well before we hop into our next set of games, and that question is, what will be at Sony, or what are you most excited for as far as Sony is concerned? What do you hope is there?
What I think is amazing is we had to reduce this down to 4 options, right? So we tried to kind of like already pick what you guys are hyped for, but watching on Twitter, especially at #E3 on Twitch, people have been talking about so many different possibilities. We've had a lot of left field stuff in each of these conferences, and Sony has such a backyard to pull from.
They do, and honestly, now that Beyond Good and Evil 2 came out, and that was kind of a surprise, I think anything could happen right now. PlayStation could be like, boom, we got a new console. I don't know.
Are you done, Marcus? Like, are you just good to like pack it in? Was that all you were waiting for this event?
No, because typically, as a Sony fanboy, a lot of times E3, the way it works out is like, I'm like, okay, yeah, that was cool. I'll play that, but whatever, you know, oh, that was cool. And then I'm like super hyped getting ready for the Sony. So like, I'm at this level of hypeness where I'm normally at when Sony begins, and I don't know what will happen when I actually get there.
Is hypeness like a curve, or is it like
going straight up,
endless,
Rachel?
An endless, oh my God.
I can't stop. I'm like a living hype emoticon.
There's no ceiling on this hype.
Don't forget, twitch.tv/Twitch Esports for 3 days. Follow the channel. And then, of course, when it goes live, you can be notified of that. But we got more action coming at you live here from E3. It starts technically tomorrow, but we still got a press left, and that is Sony. We're going to head back to the stage with more games.
Right seating position.
Hello, welcome back to the stage. This is E3 on Twitch. I'm Anna Prosser-Robinson, and that is my co-host, Kelly Link, as usual. Hello, Kelly. How's it going?
It's going great.
We also have guests here, Kevin and Lisa. Thank you guys so much. We're going to talk about 2 games during this segment, but we're going to start out with Pillars of Earth. I'm really excited because I saw that you brought a book here, and if people don't know, why would you bring a book to talk about a game?
Because actually, this is the book we turned into a video game. We took this, a 1,000-page historical novel by Ken Follett. It was written in the late 80s, and we turned it into a narrative adventure game.
We see that you have notes through all these pages. What are those?
Actually, those are the chapters. Those are the parts in the, I don't know if you can see this. Those are the parts of the book, and those are the chapters in the game of the
This is of the first installment. We're going to release this game in 3 books.
Oh, cool.
And you buy a season pass, and you can actually play all of them.
So are the orange ones for the next game? If I start going through this book, am I going to start getting spoiled?
It gets a little bit technical if I try to explain this. This is just...
But this is a well-loved copy, so this must be something that you've referenced quite a bit. Tell us a little bit first about this book. What is it about?
It takes place in the 12th century, and it's about a fictional English town in England called Kingsbridge. And basically, it's a bit of a Game of Thronesy kind of story in a historical setting. It takes place during what's called the Great Anarchy in England, where a lot of people tried to become the new king of England. So that's what I meant when it said Game of Thronesy. And basically, in this, the entire story takes place in this, as I said, this place called Kingsbridge. And it's a very small town, and during the course of 40 years, this town develops, and it's a lot about the politics during the time, about the economic growth, and a lot of people struggling to survive medieval England, because it's a very brutal place to be. There are not many laws. Well, if you're outside of a town, there are no laws. There is a famine halfway through the story. There are brutal warlords killing people, and it's just really bad stuff happening one after the other. And this one town is like the beacon of, I don't know, of a good life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into it because we actually have the game here with us today for you to show us. And as we do, why don't you tell us a little bit about kind of how you took the words on a page and made them into this experience that we're seeing here?
Well, first I had to read the entire book, of course.
Right.
And the thing I started out with trying to figure out what were the most emotional moments in the book, the ones that I really cared about, that moved me. And then me and my colleague Matt Kemke, who is the other co-lead of the game, we tried to focus on these moments and build the story around that. And the story of the book is the spine, but we had to change scenes and moments to make them more interactive.
How did you make those decisions? What did you decide what made the cut and what didn't?
Well, it's a very long process. First, you have one version of the game where you think, okay, I need all this kind of stuff. I need all these story beats to make it work. And then you figure out, well, you don't need all of them. You try to cut things out, and you think about how can this be a good gameplay moment. And if you realize this is not a good gameplay moment, this is just people talking and talking, you question yourself, do you really need this, or can you find a different kind of scene that is not in the book, but that would work better?
Where do we find ourselves now?
We're in this is the second chapter, and we're playing a boy called Jack. This is this redhead guy here. He is in a forest, and he lives in a forest. He's an outlaw, which means he is outside of law of the towns, and he has to survive in the forest. And this is so weird to show a 2D game after you had all those 3D games here earlier.
But I was just going to say, it looks so beautiful.
Yeah, it's all handmade, 2D animation, 2D graphics, and he's now trying to hunt for food, and we have all these. I really love the animations of Jack in this scene. He's really hungry right now, so.
So are these some of the mechanics, these kind of survival mechanics that we're going to see in the game?
It's focused a lot on these typical adventure, 2D point-and-click adventure mechanics.
Okay.
But we're not focusing too much on puzzles. It's more about the story. And we're using the mechanics like inventory puzzles, where you pick up objects, and you have this inventory here. I can use it with my right stick. And I can interact with stuff. I can walk around and explore things. I have these, whenever I get close to an interactable object, I can interact with it, or I can, just a second, read something.
What'd you find?
He found some footprints. You can see it on there.
Ooh.
Yeah, and you can think about stuff if I push the X button here on my Xbox
wow.
controller.
So you're kind of like taking a perception check of what exactly you're looking at.
Right,
cool.
yeah. So I always understand what my character is thinking about stuff. So now there's this deer, and this is exactly what I want. I want to catch a deer, so I pick up my slingshot, and there's this little quick time event moment. Where I have to
a skill
try.
check.
Yeah. But it got away.
So is that most of the interaction in the game is skill checks?
No. This is just something we use in between to keep things fresh, to have little action moments. It's a very, very, as I said, a very narrative game. It's a lot about the character relationships and the dialogue and how you interact with them. And you can, through the things that you do or don't do and the decisions you make or refuse to make, things can be different in the game. So it's more like a telltale kind of game.
Oh, okay. So it's not
Yeah.
just a linear story that you're following and kind of exploring. You can make decisions that affect the game.
Yeah, it's still very linear, but the things, for example, I could have just failed now and I would never have caught the deer. And then the next segment is Jack who has to cure the meat in order to have meat in the evening. And I don't have to do this if I don't have any meat, then I'm
Right.
just hungry. And even that is optional. The curing of the meat is even optional. I don't have to do this. I can just keep on
So you
playing and
said
then
you'd
the
be
meat goes
hungry?
bad.
And so like your character gets hungry in this game. There's affects to you that
It's not on a system level, it's on the narrative level.
Okay.
Yeah, so the story picks up on that and it tells you, okay, later on there will be a scene where people are hungry and they don't have meat and the story will develop around that. And there are a lot of those small decisions. A lot of them have these smaller consequences, but every once in a while you don't really know when you can decide on something really, really dramatic. There are characters that can die if you do something wrong. Characters who actually survive in the book can die halfway through in the game. And some characters who die in the book, like this typical Ned Stark thing from Game of Thrones everyone's talking about, you could actually save Ned Stark if that was our game. Yeah.
Cool.
So if you make the right decisions.
Did you work with with Ken Follett at all?
We pitched the game to him, and we send him regular updates.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So you're in communication with him.
Yeah, but he's
okay
trying
with
to...
you killing off the characters?
Yeah, he's okay with it. Yeah, he said he doesn't really know a lot about game development, and he doesn't want to interfere with us. He doesn't want to tell us what to do because he trusts us and he wants us to make the decisions we want to make.
That's the perfect arrangement,
that's
right?
excellent.
When you're collaborating creatively, I would think.
Yeah, it's perfect.
He's also a voice in the game, right?
Yeah, and he's also voicing a character.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. Can you reveal who it is, or is that a secret still?
Can I?
You can.
Yeah.
I think,
It's the cantor. It's he's a monk in the game.
How cool.
Yeah.
A cantor. So that's someone who kind of like sings and
Yeah.
storytells, so that makes sense, the
Yeah.
author being that. Cool.
Yeah. He's the leader of a choir.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Okay, so where are we now?
So now this is Jack's cave. I could turn on my quest log right now, then it always tells me what was my next task, but I'm just going to tell you. Now I have to cure the meat, or as I said, I don't have to cure the meat, I could just walk out and then the next segment starts.
Oh, so if you make that option to like whatever the next story screen goes to, you just ignore it completely. You can never go back to that.
Yeah, in this case, well, I could walk out, I could always come back, but at some point, when I walk too far, the game will
progress.
Yeah, will progress. And something happens that I cannot go back to my cave anymore. And then later my mother will later blame me because I let the meat go bad. Yeah. Yeah. So it's all these little moments. Yeah, here's some.
It's so fascinating, I think, to take different types of art and media and blend them together or translate them between. And I'm curious, tell us a little bit about what it's like to take a book and make it into a game experience. What experiences do you want to preserve? Like when I'm reading a book, I have certain experiences. What do you want to make sure you preserve? And then what are the things that are very uniquely gaming that you want to add to the game? Because in a game like this that's very narrative, the goal is to get me to experience the story, right?
Yeah, right. And as I said, the emotional moments are important. The moments where a character dies or goes through very tough stuff, those are also the moments that are very interesting if you can make the player experience those things. If the player is the one who has to struggle and has to survive. And that's the thing that you can add to the book, because in the book we always identify with the characters, we read about them and we feel with them, but now we are them and we have to do exactly what they are going through.
Right, that makes sense. So if I'm a reader of the book, will I recognize places like this?
Oh yeah, this cave, this is a very, very, very iconic place in the book as well.
Cool.
Yeah, and I can explore it. I can always use my slingshot with all kinds of stuff in the game. This is an optional thing. There's a lot of small optional stuff where I can shoot stuff. I can just, you know, a little bit of exploration. I can just check out what's there, and he's going to eat a nut. Occasionally, I can find these little documents that tell me a little bit more about the world. You know, those you know these in RPGs or
Do you
like
ever have
audiologs.
any direct excerpts from the book?
There are some dialogues that are taken directly from the book. This document is not from the book. I don't really know how many percent of the book. I think maybe 2% of the book are in the game, like
word for word.
Literally,
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, before we move on to talking, because we do have State of Mind that we want to
Yeah.
chat about, is there anything else we should see or know about Pillars of Earth?
I think you should know that it's going to be released for PS4 and Xbox.
Great.
And for PC, Mac, Linux. And the first installment will be released on August the 15th.
Yeah. Oh, wow, soon.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And in all kinds of languages, in English, in German, in Italian, in French.
Great.
And did I say Italian? Yes. Spanish, Polish, Russian, and Chinese, simplified and traditional.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a big undertaking.
Yeah. And we have voiceovers for English and German.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations on the rollout.
Thank
you
you.
so much for showing us Pillars of Earth.
Thank you
Pillars
for
of the
having
Earth.
us.
And is the game title, because the Pillars of the Earth is the book title, but the game title is the Pillars of the Earth, not just Pillars of Earth.
It's the
right.
the Pillars
of the Earth.
And
Okay,
each
awesome.
installment has its own little subtitle. And the first one is From the Ashes.
From the Ashes
Yeah.
is the first installment. Awesome. And people can expect those later installments rolling out throughout the future.
Yeah, and if you bought the first one, if you bought the season pass, you get the other ones for free.
Great.
Yeah, you can just download them.
Awesome. Well, let's move on to chatting about our second game, State of Mind. And I think, Lisa, you're going to show us that
Yes,
one. Is that
exactly,
right? So
yeah.
give us the overview. What is State of Mind?
So State of Mind is basically also very story-driven, but the difference to Pillars of the Earth is that it's 3D and it's futuristic and it's a thriller. So yeah, it's like it's a bit complicated. It plays in a world that's not too far in the future. It's 2048 in Berlin. So, but the technology it just like developed really fast. Like people are able to, for example, upload their conscious into like a world that's called City 5. It's like a utopia. It's just digital, and it's like you can preserve your consciousness in this digital world where everything is perfect. Because all these problems we have nowadays, like the lack of some resources or like poverty and stuff like that, all these problems, social problems and society problems, in the utopia, you don't have them at all. So some people say, okay, it's like the best solution for it to just upload your consciousness and be like immortal, kind of. And some say, okay, that's totally wrong. You shouldn't do that. And blah, blah, blah. So the main figure in the game is called Richard. Although you are able to play more than one character, he's like the main character because something happened to his upload. It went wrong, terribly wrong. So, but I can't tell too much about the story because it's like a very story-driven game without spoiling too many like key moments. So it basically just starts that his family is gone and he doesn't know where it is. So very dramatic. He had an accident. He wakes up in a hospital, and yeah, so that's like the beginning where you just get thrown in. You have no idea. He doesn't even really know what's up. So yeah, so players are just getting thrown in there and have to discover everything themselves.
Well, and you have the game to show us as well. So I know, like you said, we won't get to see too much, but can we see what you brought?
I would love to show you like the difference between utopia and the dystopia, like the reality. So, and you can get to know Richard as well.
Great.
So let's see. Got some safe games here. Yeah, let's do this one. This is Richard's apartment. So you can already see that it's going to be a little bit more dark.
Tracy?
And
James?
the whole game is focusing on transhumanism. As you can see here, you can see a robot. It's like a drone that really like takes care of your stuff. Like from from other movies or games that you have like this little housekeeping robots and stuff like that. So. But Richard, as I said, he hates robots. He hates the whole technology. He's like totally against all of that stuff. So he's not very nice to his robot. He really doesn't really like him. So let's discover the apartment for a second. So here you can see there are like these ad boards, and you can just look outside and see, okay, that's Berlin in the future, but still pretty dark and pretty like, yeah, city.
Yeah.
It's just a big, huge city with drones everywhere. And the whole gameplay is focusing on, it's similar like to a point-and-click adventure, as you could say, or an adventure.
Tracy,
Like kind of, that you have like these key points in this world that you can interact with. You can see them like, when you come closer to them, you can see different hotspots that you can interact with, like a food assembler. When you do it, he wants to help you, and Richard is going to be, yeah, I can do that myself. He really doesn't feel Simon at all.
Just keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, so now they are just talking. Yeah, but there's like different stuff that you can just look at, just explore. You can interact with stuff, and that's how you like progress in the whole story.
Are we looking at the start of the game right now, or is this part of the way through?
This is in the beginning.
Okay.
So before you get to the apartment, you have to play one more part, like when you wake up in the hospital because of the accident. Then you play this part, and there's a tutorial kind of, so you get like used to everything, how you can interact with stuff and how you can look at stuff. And yeah, so here that's just Richard's apartment right now.
It's a nice apartment. What does this guy do for a
really
living?
Nice. Yeah, that's a really good question. He's a journalist for The Voice. That's like a magazine, a news magazine. So where he has to write about technology, and he's just like exactly the right person to do that since he loves it so much. No, but yeah, so you can do different things here. Let's see, you can also look at pictures. Let's go into the bathroom. Yeah, it's just, it looks really nice. I wish I would have an apartment like that.
Seriously, right? And I'm looking at all of this, and this art style is very unique and very clean. Can you tell us about any of that and the decisions that were made to make it look like this?
Yeah, we wanted to, like the whole team just decided to make a low poly look because they liked it so much. They tried to do it a little bit more realistic as well, but they just settled for this style because it's very, like you said, it's like kind of unique. You have other games that do that too, but they just thought they just wanted to work with that style because we never did a game in that style before. So
yeah. It definitely fits with the feeling of kind of this technology world almost.
Yeah. So I can show you another dialogue between Simon and Richard where they're talking about his son. Because in this segment, he just realized that his family is gone. So his family, like, they are not here. So he's just looking for everybody. And yeah, so he says he likes to play chess with his son, but yeah, he says, you don't even know what adorable means because he says, your son is adorable. Like, you're a robot, you're junk. Yeah. So, yeah, that's just like a good way to get to know Richard and his pessimistic, thoughts.
Is that robot his like companion, or is that just someone that's always in the apartment?
Yeah, it's the second thing. Yeah, he's always in the apartment, and you can talk to him. And certain decisions in the game, also similar to Pillars of the Earth, that you can decide. You can make decisions that affect, like, a lot, kind of. So it's very important. So, like, for example, if you don't help Simon or are really, really, really mean in certain situations to him, he won't help you later on in the game. So
when is
he
there,
remembers
like,
it.
when does the time stop? Like, is there a progression in the game where if you leave the room, time continues on in the game, or can you, like, come back right afterwards and continue doing on, like, how does the game progress?
Yeah, the thing is you have these different segments where you can't go back. So at a certain point, it's just, you can't go back to the apartment.
Is it obvious? Is it like, make sure you got all of your, like, items ready to go?
Yeah, you can't, I think so. That in certain points you can come back, but not all the time, and you're aware of that. After like the first two switches, you see, it's like in a movie when the scene like just goes over, then it's like a completely different scenery, like in the city or at your work.
Yeah.
But you first have to do things there so you can really return or go to other places again.
Okay.
So it's like also linear, but you still have decisions that you can make. It's not open world, so let's just say it like that.
And so this is very much similar to what we were talking about with the Pillars of the Earth, where this is kind of a narrative experience in which you have your own decisions to make in each section.
Yeah, like the whole company, Dedelic, we focus on very narrative games. Like that is like one of our most important aspects in our games, that we just, tell a story.
And what are you looking at all around here? What are some of the other things that we should notice in the apartment?
So he just noticed that the wardrobe of his wife is empty. So now you can basically talk to him and ask him. You can throw him out, for example. You can ask him where Tracy is. That's his wife. So that's like you have a lot of dialogues that you have to go through and have to find out different things. Yeah, so, and another thing that's very important about the game, like I said before, you have multiple characters and you can switch between them like at different times and do certain stories with them or have to work towards each other and with each other. So, yeah, so that's just another thing I wanted to say. So now you can just talk to him.
Are those other characters like side characters related to him, or are they their own people?
There are like a lot of them are related to him.
Okay.
Some of them are still like a little bit off, but in the progress of the story, you just see the connection between them.
But they don't offer as much as he offers, right? Like you'll always come back to him as the main character.
That's kind of like there are some characters that you play as often as him.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So
okay.
like for example, there's a girl that I can maybe talk about. She's like his affair. So and you can play her as well. So it's just like. Yeah, that's how it works out, kind of. Now I can show you, just so you get an idea of how different Utopia is.
Right.
Now we're going to show you the other apartment in Utopia.
Oh, wow.
So that looks a lot more lighter. You have like...
So this is where his consciousness has been uploaded to this place. And it's
exactly.
It's all digital, as it were.
Then the very dangerous part about the whole Utopia thing is that the people in there don't know that they are digital uploads. So that's maybe another thing I can say without spoiling to Yeah, they don't know. So
it's like Matrix level.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
something like
but
that.
he knows. He's aware.
That's his upload. He doesn't know.
Oh, you're uploading so that's some like Black Mirror.
Yeah, I love Black Mirror, like the whole transhumanism. That's why I love the game so much, because it's just so similar to Black Mirror and all this stuff. Like, for example, these pictures, you can just like, when you click on them, they expand. Just love this stuff. Like here, that's kind of creepy one. I showed you like the most creepy. No, and there are like different ones where you can see like a wedding or here.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just like these little things also. Then you can, in this world.
Is the gameplay strictly point-and-click adventure decision-making, or is there any action? Is there any kind of skill checks?
You have also these mechanisms. You also have like this evidence that you collect evidence, and then afterwards you have to put it together to get like progress in the story and just to have more insight in what's actually going on, because there's a bigger thing behind this whole story. So
is it just a collection, or is it actually like you have to analyze the evidence and like
you also have to analyze?
Ooh,
you have
cool.
you have like your laptop, and then you have all the evidence together, and then there's like it's like a how can you say it? You just see like all the evidence around you, and you just have to kind of put it together.
Like one of those corkboard things where like, you know,
yeah,
murder
kind of like that,
mysteries.
just really digital and very like immersive. It's just really around him.
Okay.
Like you have to turn around and just look at the different little segments and things you found, and then you have to like put it together. Yeah, but it's like really, yeah.
This seems
a lot
like
to it.
It asks us a lot of questions about consciousness and what we think of being human. And as I understand it, it's based very much on the idea of transhumanism and kind of examining that idea. And as I understand it, it's kind of telling us a story. So what's the hope that people will kind of consider here in terms of their own experience? Is that what the game is trying to do?
Yeah, it also tries to like give the players some thoughts so they think about it actually, and just say like, okay, maybe like the whole technology thing, just similar to Black Mirror, it's a good example that you just think about, like really actively think about how technology affects you and how you use technology and how you don't even really realize that you're using technology anymore because it's just so normal for you.
Right.
And that's why the whole team said, okay, no, we want to do it in 2048 because it's not too far in the future. It's like only 30 years from now.
Right, yeah.
Just to like really show how fast technology can develop, because it does, like if you just look at the last 30 years, how fast it went, it's just like crazy.
Right,
it's ridiculous how fast.
Yeah.
So that's like one of the very huge aspects. They just wanted to like really put focus on it. Martin Gantefer is the author of it, so he put a lot of thoughts into that.
Absolutely.